Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's time for the Front Row Racing World Championship Reserves Round 6 from Monaco. Your commentary team for this event is Front Row Racing GP and Overdykink, so I'll hand over to them.
Thank you very much there, DP. So, I am Front Racing GP, also known as the Murray Talker, and with me in the commentary box we have got Overdykink from the World Championship. Dom, what was your commentary name? What did we end up calling you last time?
I think we ended up calling me Dive Bomb Dom.
So that's what it is then, it's Dive Bomb Dom from now on. So, Dive Bomb Dom, actually, let me go through these drivers and then we know we can get DP to send out some invites to the World Championship drivers, as these are the World Championship reserves. So we've got Break and Clays, Drew, Dave the Harp, Kane Ayanda, also wants to be called Panda, Coming to Get You 85, RDB 86, Jason, and Simo 911, and Tyler 2003 has just popped in there as well. So DP, if you want to invite the World Championship drivers in, we'll explain all that in a moment.
Yeah, I'll get onto that in a second.
Okay, yeah, Dom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 World Championship reserve drivers in. How many do you think are going to be crossing the finish line?
Well, with it being Monaco, I do want to be positive. I'm going to say 6, possibly.
Okay.
Maybe 5. It's going to be obviously Monaco being one of the more difficult tracks, so we'll see how the drivers get on as we will start the qualifying session very soon.
I'll tell you what, if there's a race that you would want to be dry and you would dread it being wet, surely this is one you would not want to be in the wet. And I would feel sorry for these guys if it was wet today, because we do run with dynamic weather conditions, so it could change from dry to wet, wet to dry, or just be wet all the way through. If it does rain, would you take this race, would you approach this race in a different manner to how you would have done normally?
Well, obviously you want to be careful in the dry, but obviously you need to be more careful in the wet. If you make one mistake in the wet, it can be very costly, whereas in the dry you can sort of save your mistake and sort of keep it in figure. But in the wet, obviously, when you go off that racing line, you are straight into the barrier and you've got the chance of losing a wing or possibly a wheel. So yeah, there's definitely a different approach, but we'll see how the drivers will approach it.
Yeah, and just something on the drivers for the viewers to keep an eye out for. On round 4 results, or I should say the standings at the end of the race in Spain, Simo was the top World Championship reserve driver. Behind him was Coming to Get You 85, so watch out for those two having a close battle today. Break and Clays also is shown in the past what he is capable of doing, so he could be up there as well, battling with Simo and Coming to Get You 85. A driver that I've been impressed with previously in previous seasons around this place is Jason. I think he finished second in a race a couple of seasons ago when he so nearly could have won it. I remember DP.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, I know it was racing against Killer Corkin, and DP was commentating, and it was a cracking race. And Josh.
Yeah, I was nearing Killer Corkin, so I'm very aware of that race still.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic race. I remember that.
So Jason is one to keep an eye out for, because he can keep it out of the walls. Now I've probably commentated Kirsten now, so I do apologise, Jason. But let's get those in. Jason is a World Series driver, which is assists allowed, but here is the World Championship Reserves, which is no assists, so he's dabbling in that a little bit. I know he has taken part in the World Championship previously, but he is still keeping his foot in there a little bit, if you like to say. But he is one that could be there at the end if he's able to keep it out of the wall. So yeah, I'm just noticing some of the other drivers are coming through now as well, which is good stuff. DP information.
Yeah, I was going to say WCR drivers will be on their way in now. Obviously, our main focus is going to be on the World Championship Reserve drivers to see how they get on. I mean, you mentioned about Simo and Coming to Get You. I mean, in the opening rounds of the season, Coming to Get You was really showing himself as being potentially a comfortable, permanent WC driver. And then all of a sudden, Simo comes along, looking at possibly aiming for the World Series with the assist, changes his mind and thinks, now, you know what, I want to go for the no assist. And not only has he been doing well in the World Championship Reserves, but if I remember rightly, he won he won in Spain, didn't he? It was round 5, used to round 4, but in round 5, the World Championship in Spain, he won that race. So he's more than talented enough to do well here, but also to compete against coming to get you for potential permanent spaces if and when they come available. So, I mean, that's a battle that I think will be interesting to see. And in a way, I think it'd be a little bit of a shame if any of the WC drivers got in the way of those two battling it out, because it would be nice to just see those two sort of really going head to head, who's the better of the two. But it's Monaco, we'll have to just wait and see what happens in that situation.
That is true. Now the drivers are slowly filling the lobby up, and I'm going to take this opportunity to ask the question of the day. So I'm going to ask it to Dom first of all, and then I'll ask it to DP, see if he knows what this is as well. You may need to end up taking a random guess, and obviously viewers on YouTube, feel free to have a random guess or a educated guess. But how much did it cost Ferrari F1 team per point in the 2015-2016 season in euros? How much did it cost them per point in euros last season, basically? Any idea, Dom?
Well, as a Ferrari fan, I should know this, shouldn't I? Well, that's a difficult one. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to come back to you, Steve.
Okay, DP, any idea?
It's an odd question, because I mean, you could ask how much did they spend in a year, which might be easy to work out, and someone will do the mathematics, I'm sure, divide it by the amount of points. So how much per point? Well, it's got to be in the millions. 5 million. Random guess, 5 million.
I shall note that down. DP's guess of 5 million. So if we get any guesses coming on YouTube, DP will be able to come to us and let us know. And at the end of the race, I shall inform everybody of what it is. And also some other interesting facts on that as well. So DP, 5 million. Okay, I'm not going to say whether you're too high or too low. Or bang on. I'll just not say. Yeah, are we good to go?
I think it's about time we send the drivers to the track. Yeah, a load of invites have been sent out. They've had nearly 10 minutes to get in, so we'll send them over to the track and see how they get on.
Yep, okay, this is where all the drivers will be keeping their fingers and toes and legs and anything else they can crossed, and hoping for some dry weather at Monaco, because this is one place where if it gets wet, yeah, it gets slippery and you can find the walls. Dom, have you ever? I'm not asking this because I know the answer. I actually genuinely don't know. Previous seasons yourself around Monaco, how's it gone?
Let's have a think. I think I've actually never been able to keep the car fully intact for the entire race, so that's not very promising for next week. I've had a podium result here before, I know that. Actually, I've had two, I think. I think I had one last season when I finished third, because our good friend DP forgot to upload his footage, or had his footage corrupted.
No, YouTube corrupted it, the swine.
I still need to thank you for that, Dave. So that was much appreciated at that point.
Just come in one moment, Dom. Just going to point out on screen, because we've only got a little bit of time to show it. The tyres that are available for today, the softer tyres, which is the ultra softs, are available, softs and super softs. The balance set there, and also the harder set are on screen for you to see. The mandatory tyres are the super softs and the soft tyres. Yeah, sorry, Dom, to cut you off there.
That's alright, mate. No, I think I had decent results. I had some disappointing results over the season, so it's been a bit up and down. Let's hope for an up for next week for me.
Okay, just to let you know, Dean Tiley is a driver that shouldn't be in the session, so somebody has sent an invite to him. He has inquired about joining previously, but never supplied the relevant information or details to be actioned into the events, so it would appear that somebody has sent an invite to him when they shouldn't have done, and that is something that we do ask the drivers to not send invites out to people that should not be in the events. The problem is now there's not a lot we can do about it, so if he and there's another one as well.
He can go. At this point, I was just going to say, DP, Dean Tiley, is he currently on your friends list, unfortunately?
Unfortunately.
I'm not sure. I don't think he is. I can't remember.
In the lobby, you may be able to select his name and then send him a message. Dean Tyler's left the
He
session.
has
now.
already left.
Okay.
That remains James Braden.
Yeah. Well, it's an invite-only session, which means that somebody has potentially sent them an invite. Like I say, yeah, I mean, we do ask that drivers don't send invites out to people that shouldn't be in the session, because if they go and ruin the session, it basically then means that, they've ruined it. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that one.
Yep, just to point out what DP was saying about not sending in certain information. To become a driver in front row racing, you have to set up your driver profile, which means just answering a few basic questions, really. Do you like driving with assists or without assists? So then we know whether you want to go down the route of the World Series, which is in the World Series Reserves, which is the assists allowed, or down the route of the World Championship Reserves and the World Championship. So that's one of the questions that we ask, but also we ask for just a speed test of your internet speed, just because we like to have simply is because we like to make sure everyone's going to have a good connection, because there's nothing more frustrating when you're racing than having a car jumping around in front of you and you don't know where it's going to end up. So there's another name that we're not familiar with as well. Interesting that
There's another one just joined.
yeah.
Right, okay, I would
Are you sure you've
recommend
set
then
the
that we
lobby up
set
right, Steve?
Yes, I am. But
Right.
we're going to reset the lobby up anyway. Personally, I think at this point, if we've got randoms coming in, there's no point continuing on. We'll reset up the lobby. Steve, you should be able to keep the broadcast going if necessary. But this is why it is extremely important for nobody to send invites to anybody that should not be in the sessions. But okay, guys, if us three want to leave, then we'll set up a new lobby and get the relevant people invited in.
Yep, we shall. So by showing all of the drivers that the full commentary team have left the session, that should inform them or notify them of the fact that that session will be coming to an end and restarting. Why it's happened, I can only imagine that one of the drivers may have hit some invites out there that which is not something they would normally do. But then again, all it would take is for one driver to send one invite, and then once they're in, they can then send as many as they want to, and that's when you can have a flood of drivers.
Yep, okay, Dom, we're going to need you to join the new lobby as soon as possible, please, and then GP
Yes,
can
I
join
am. I am
after
joining.
you.
Yes.
Once you're in, if you can then send myself or GP invite, and contingency plan.
No, you know what? I might do that.
So we're just currently waiting for my invite to come through from Dom before I join. That way we know for sure that Dom's in there before me, and my invite has just come through. I think it should play some funky music when the blue screen comes up on the live stream. You know, some of that.
I've always said that what you should be able to do on the PlayStation is have a picture on your PlayStation that you can set as a wallpaper. So when the blue screen's on, you could have your wallpaper on. So for example, this is a front row racing broadcast. You could have a front row racing picture, and then it'd just look better. But
also, you could change that picture from week to week, and you could have the previous race standings on your picture.
Now, wouldn't that be fantastic?
That'd be amazing.
I do see YouTubers doing that though, so there must be some sort of way to do that.
Not directly on the PlayStation 4. The only way to do it is to externally record what you're doing on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then on that program on a PC, you can put stuff on it, which you then broadcast live to YouTube through your PC. It's a major pain in the backside. I mean, it's something that I've had experience of because of driving for Origin for a racing and doing some commentary there, and seeing how they do it, and the amount of computing power alone that it needs is fairly ridiculous. I'm just going to start sending invites out to the WCR drivers. So if you bear with us a few guys, bear with me for a moment, guys, while I get the invites sent out.
I'm just going to resend both of you to a fresh invite as well, in case there's a problem. Okay. Well, let's hope that whoever did send out an invite to somebody that shouldn't have received one, that it doesn't happen again. It's difficult to even presume who it may have been. Or one of the things we may need to do is on the podium post that goes out later on Facebook this evening, just maybe write a little comment on there, a little reminder for some of the drivers that.
Well, it is reminded at 6 p.m.
It
on
is,
race days. A post does go out that does state on there not to invite anybody that effectively isn't on the list of drivers that is shown. So for any of the drivers who want to know who should and shouldn't be in the lobby, they can check that post that goes up an hour and a half before race time, so they know for sure.
Okay, the drivers are starting to make their way back in, and just a moment ago we did see, this is something I want to ask DP actually, we did just notice that it was going to be a dry qualifying and a dry race. Do we leave it to dynamic or should we set it to dry?
I think we leave it on dynamic.
Yeah.
Because effectively we never got going, nobody put a lap in, and I mean I have a different opinion of Monaco in the wet. Right, I do have a different opinion. I mean, Monaco, it's my favourite track. I love racing around this place. There's nothing better than taking your tyres closer to the wall than you think they can go and realising you can get past it. Obviously, it's embarrassing when your front wheel goes past it and your rear wheel hits it and you end up facing the wrong way, but that's part of the game. But when it comes to a wet Monaco, I'm of a different opinion. I love Monaco in the wet because it's really tricky, but at the same time it forces you to go slower. It can be an advantage to drivers if they've got a car that can handle the conditions. It can be an advantage because it can allow them to go that little bit slower and work into the grip levels of the track without taking the risks. The problem is if their cars can't handle the conditions, they're in the barrier.
That is true. I mean, a practice session so far this week for myself, I got the front of my car past the apex of one of the corners, but my wheel didn't. The wheel stuck to the wall and my car carried on going. So yeah, I left my front wheel behind. But that's what happens at Tobacco if you turn in too early. Well, I think is, you must have heard this, Dom, in the past where people have said around Monaco, you aim for the wall and you'll miss it. Have you heard about that at Monaco?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I aimed for the wall and I hit it. It's like really.
That's not the way you want to go, though, see?
No, not at all. But maybe I just need to try and get some understeer into my car, and then it'll understeer past the wall. But yeah, at the moment my car's very pointy. It turns in quite nicely, but maybe I've got it a bit too responsive. I need to just back off on the settings somewhere along the line. This version of the game compared to previous seasons, how are you finding the setup, setting up the cars for the circuits on 20? This is 2016, isn't it? Yeah, F1 2016.
Yeah, well done. F1 2016.
F1 2016. Yeah, it's all right. It's just that we're coming to the end of 2016 and FIFA's now on 2017. It's so confusing.
I know, that is confusing.
Yeah, so this version of the game, compared to the previous one, how are you finding it with setups? Yeah.
What I mainly like about this game compared to the last game is that arrows actually matter on this game. For example, on previous games, you could run 2-1, 3-1, maybe 4-2 arrows around pretty much every track. Now you need to sort of find the balance between having the right arrows and having the good top speed. So on this game, I've seen people run high arrows, low arrows, medium sort of arrows, all kinds of arrows that make the car work for them. So yeah, I think that's a good aspect of this game. Other aspects, though, I think is pretty similar to F1 2015. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you on the aeros. I have noticed myself with the aeros, I can set the car up to suit me, and the best way of getting me to go around a lap might be by having quite a lot of aeros on. But then when I go into a race, I can't compete because the other guys have got low aeros. I can't get past them in the corners because of whatever circuit it is. It's too difficult to get past in the corners. Get to the straight, and they're 20 mile an hour faster down the straight than me. But then I get to the corners again. I catch them up through the corners, but I just can't overtake them. And then you get to the straight, and they're gone again. So it can get a little frustrating sometimes. Whereas I feel if I go low aeros, I can't get it to work for me, and I'd end up probably losing time. So it's one of those things, isn't it? But Monaco.
Just a heads up for you. Sorry, just to interrupt a second. Just a heads up for you. We're just waiting for Drew and Simo to rejoin the lobby, and then I think we're back to the same number of drivers as we had before. So just waiting for those. I think we've just lost somebody as well, so I'll keep an eye on that. We'll get going as soon as we can, guys. Obviously, unfortunately, not our fault. People inviting people in that they shouldn't. That'll happen. I have seen that James has sent an apology on that one for joining. So a bit of confusion there, but yeah, I'll keep you informed. We'll get going as soon as we can.
Okie dokie. So, quick reminder then of question of the day, and if anyone wants to have a guess, stick their answer on the YouTube comments, and DP will get round to reading them at some point. He's already had a guess, 5 million, but the question was, how much did it cost Ferrari per point in the 2015-26 season in euros? Are you ready to have a guess at it yet, Dom?
Let me think. How many points did they get? Is it 2015 or 2016?
It's the 15-16 season, so it's the one that's just gone, and they scored 428 points.
Okay. How much did they get? I'd say they get about 500 million per season, don't they? Something like that.
Possibly.
So I'd say well, probably just over 1 million then. Probably about one of that. No, hold on, 1.3.
I'm putting Dom down
again. Is it how much money did they earn per point, or how much money did they spend per point?
How much did it cost them? So how much did it?
Okay.
So
the money, you basically got to calculate how much they earned and how much they spent.
I love how this is confusing, Dom.
There's a very simple.
Just how much have they spent? How much have Ferrari spent per point?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Not sure.
Well, I've put you down as 1.3 million. Do we have any questions or answers on YouTube at the moment?
I'll let you know shortly. I'm just keeping an eye on the drivers. Drew is now in with us. It was Jason that dropped out a moment ago. He's had another invite sent to him.
Okay.
So we're just waiting now for Jason and for Simo.
So I'm just going to...
I will keep bombarding them.
Yeah, I will remind the viewers of who is the World Championship reserve drivers. They are coming to get you. RDB, Brake and Clays, Kane Ayanda, wants to be known as Panda, or doesn't mind being called Panda. So I tell you what, it's a good job that other driver didn't join. What was his name? Panda Racing TV or something? Yeah, anyway. Tebs.
Could have been a conflict of interest with those two.
Yeah, it could have been. Tebs is joining us again this week, which is good to see. Yarson, Dave the Harp, Stock is a World Championship driver, so is Tina Hearn, so is W Butler, so is F1 Roadrunner, so is Hammer Time 95, so is Jamie James 16, and Drew 871105 is a World Championship Reserve driver, and he's been doing rather well recently. Be interested to see how he gets on today. How many did we have in the lobby when we hit go last time, Dave?
18. It was on 17 when I looked a moment ago.
It is now 17.
The only one we're missing is Tyler around 2003.
If Simo is already in the lobby, then that could be the case, but Simo is not in the lobby, so it's Simo that we are waiting for.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that Tyler around 2003 was in the lobby as well, so...
Yeah.
Now,
I think Tebs is joined. I think that's why the number is...
yes.
Now.
Tebs wasn't in on the first time round, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll just wait for a moment for Simo then. Obviously we can't wait too long. I've sent him a few invites and I've sent him a message as well. I mean, surely he's realised that driving around Monaco is the only one on the track, unless he's just thinking, this is going really well, everybody else is crashed out, I'm going to have the camera all on me. Unfortunately, Simo, that's not the case. We're sat in the lobby waiting for you.
He's so determined to get the win, he's going to get all the way to the end to make sure he doesn't retire by accident.
Yeah. Well, what we may end up having to do is going through to the qualifying session, and he'll be able to join and see how he does from there. Obviously, we can't wait too long, because I mean we're now at nearly 5 to 8. So yeah, an unfortunate, slightly frustrating delay here.
What does it say he's currently doing on the friends list?
He's on the multiplayer at Monaco, so he's still driving around at Monaco on his own. So, Simo, trust me, if the crowd are waving at you and cheering at you, then they're not celebrating. They're doing a bit of a Forrest Gump. It's like, stop running! You're the only one on the track, my friend. He might realise soon. Okay. Well, I shall leave
it would
it
be
down to you,
interesting
Steve,
though
when you
to
want
see
to,
how Simo would cope if he starts from the back. So.
Well, yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what would happen. I'm going to give him just another minute. We'll go at 5-2. It's 6 minutes to at the moment, so he doesn't have long. But it's not fair to keep all these other drivers waiting. Yeah, so he's got not long at all. Because there are drivers. I mean, it would have been really nice to see coming to get you and Simo battling it out for a race win at Monaco, but fortunately, that's not. Looks like it may not happen at this moment in time. Right. Well, I think I'm going to hit the ready button because I'm getting a bit impatient. Never mind everybody else. Tyres. Let's talk tyres for a minute while we can, while we're loading back through, because we'll see those tyre selections again. So this week it's the Ultra Softs, which are purple, the Super Softs, which are red, and the Softs, which are the yellow tyre wall. Now there may be some of the drivers that are listening into the broadcast while they're planning on doing the qualifying. Something we don't normally recommend because it can affect your internet. But also if we start talking strategy and things now, they might get a few ideas. But I'm going to ask Dom a couple of questions about it. Anyway, Monaco always should be a one-stop. Is that your opinion, or do you always look for an alternative?
I think we'll see a couple of 6 stops, to be honest, with all the wings flying. I think ideally it would be, for me, it would be a 1-stop or a 2-stop possibly, but nothing more than that. But I reckon a lot of drivers will do more than that. So
yeah,
does GT5 still hold the record for the most amount of pit stops here?
No, it's Charlie. Charlie holds the record for 8 pit stops.
That's right. I think Rianne was 6 or 7.
You got 7.
Yeah. I mean, this is a track where if you can do a 1-stop can be much better. I mean, doing the 2-stop. I mean, someone asked me the other day for sort of advice on pit strategy here, and my answer was, you only stop the once. If you're going to pit more times, then it needs to be for damage or if it's raining. Other than that, yeah, stay out on track.
Yeah, Simo has just joined.
Simo has now joined. Whether he's going to be able to get into a car or not, I don't know. Which means he may end up starting from the back of the grid.
I'll tell you what.
44 has now managed to get in as well.
If Simo does start from the back of the grid and Mr. Hamilton starts from the back of the grid, and those two trying to get through the field, now that would be interesting. Now, it's a very dark compared to previous time we were here. What does the weather forecast say for qualifying? It's just cloudy. Overcast and dry conditions, so that's a bit unfortunate. For the race, it's brightening up, it's sunshine, 30 degrees track, let's get my words right, track temperature, and 21 degrees air temperature. Pretty much ideal temperatures for the race there, not too hot, not too cold. Yeah, that would probably suit the drivers quite nicely. So do we have any cars about to go out on circuit? It looks like we've got Stocky going out. He's a World Championship driver, so we'll jump away from him to another driver once it will let me, and I bet that's Drew that's just left the pit lane in the Renault.
tell you what, we have had one attempted answer at your question of the day, Steve.
Yep.
Was it the question of the day? Was it how much did Ferrari spend per point in the F1 season that has just finished?
Yeah.
Dan Evans' guess: £976,635. I'm surprised he's not added a couple of pence on that.
Hang on, just read them. I need to write it down. You say Dan Evans?
Yeah, 976.
976.
635.
635.
But that is in pounds, remember? So we'll have to transfer it to euros.
Okay, so £976,635 in any pence, or did he not bother with them?
No, he didn't bother with the pennies.
Alright, okay.
Do you know what? That amount of money suggests that he might have had a bit of a help with the answer. Of an iPhone or an iPad or any
quite
other
possibly. Someone else has just had another go and just knocked £1 off it. That's sneaky, that is. Just wait for someone else to go a pound above it and then Dan's screwed. Okay, focus on what's happening on the track, because I mean, you mentioned, Steve, it's looking a bit grey and gloomy out there. It really, really is. It does look like it could and should rain.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Drew at the moment, watching Drew, and he's trying to warm his tyres up. No, I think that was a bit of lag. It does look like Drew is suffering from lag today. That is not what you're going to want around Monaco. We have had some very good races with Drew with not much lag at all, but that was a big jump, and he's not going to want that through this race. Now he's just headed past onto the casino, and I can't tell whether he's hitting walls or it's his lags. I think we may end up just seeing his sector 1 and then moving away from him. It's a 20.9, so he's a bit off the pace there in that first sector anyway. So let's find somebody else that is out on track. Dave the Harp has gone down into the car park. Looks like he's about to get out and get into his van and go to work. Tina Hearn is out on circuit. He's World Championship driver, so is F1 Roadrunner. Let's find coming to get you.
He's just starting to fly lap now. I don't know if you want to use the onboard camera for him, because he's done quite a quick out lap here. He's really pushing for it straight away.
He hasn't. I tell you what, he's looking extremely quick, but he always looks quick. He always looks comfortable, never under too much pressure. And he's got a car that's just maybe compromised him over the bump there. But his first sector's a 20.1. What do you think, Dom, to coming to get you as a racing driver? Would he be good for the World Championship?
I mean, he would. He's had quite a couple of appearances this season yet, and I think he's finished on the podium, or at least in the top 5 in every single one of them. So it's looking good for coming to get you. And now it's just a question of waiting until a seat comes available, which might not be soon. So that's a bit unfortunate for the guy, but he's really impressed me so far. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if a seat does come available, it's not up to the admins to say who's best and who deserves it. It's the teammate that needs the new teammate gets a list of suggested drivers, and it's up to them to choose. So he's sector 2 at 35.6, and he's just got his DRS open now, heading towards the finish line.
He's down a long way. Sector 1 is down 3 tenths, and sector 2 is down 8 tenths on Roadrunner, who's currently provisional pole.
While he's set his lap time, it has put him into P2, and he may go on for another lap. I'm going to just see if we can find another World Championship driver out on circuit. Drew's on his way back into the pits. Braken Clays, he's on an out lap. And Tebbs, he is on an out lap. There's a lot of guys on out laps. We've got Kane Nyanda, Panda, and his car's black and white, look, like a panda. Heading into turn 1. He's already set a time which has put him 3rd. I've just noticed he's on the super soft tyres. Now would this be a matter of getting a banker lap in and then putting the ultra softs on and going for a fast lap at the end? So Dom, any ideas? I mean, starting on the super soft, surely you're compromising yourself in qualifying.
Well, yeah, it could be for a number of reasons. Getting the super softs out of the way early in the race while you're stuck behind other cars, and then trying to pass them on. Ooh, you nearly lost the car. Trying to pass them on ultra softs, or maybe undercut them on ultra softs. It can have all kinds of strategies. So he might just put a banker lap in anyway, and then go for the ultra softs towards the end of the qualifying session.
He might be doing. Yeah, he did have that big moment when you went ooh, and I think he's backed out of his lap, and looks like he might be struggling.
Sorry, Braken Clays is just starting when I keep you updated on his sectors.
Okay, we're on board with Braken Clays because it looked like Panda was starting to struggle a little bit with his temperature in his tyres, and Braken Clays is on the super softs. So DP, if you could give us an idea of the best super soft sector 1 so far, because he's just done a 20.1 on the super softs.
He's up by 4 tenths on previous super soft time.
Well, he's doing well then, and he's got I tell you what, it looks like he may be running low wing, because the rear end of this car is stepping out every time he puts his throttle down. Low wing around here, Dom, advisable or not advisable?
For me it will be high wings, but I know people run lower wings around this track because you've got a lot of mechanical grip, so yeah, again, there can be numerous amounts of things that you can do around this track, low wings, high wings.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of driver preference.
He's 7 tenths down on the fastest sector 2, but he is faster than sector 2.
Oh, he spun it!
Oh, he spun it! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That's that lap done with.
Like I say, it doesn't matter how quick your sectors are, the laps are not going to be quick at all now, unfortunately.
Just use this moment to mention something about this version of the game compared to the previous game as he puts it back into the pit lane. Yes, this version of the game, the reset to track that a lot of people used to use when you'd spun the car at Monaco, you can't use it. It's not there as an option unless you're up an escape road. So
the thing is as well, for anyone that thinks, oh I know, I'll just press pause, well, if your car reverses too much the wrong way, you can find yourself getting disqualified. That
is true. Now I'm just... Ooh, RDB's rear end stepping out. He's got a 22.0 sector 1. It's a couple of seconds off. He's still a driver that's getting used to the no assist driving. He's on the ultra soft tyres. He's going to be looking to try and improve on these sectors. I'm wondering whether he'll have banged a bit more fuel in and just trying to do a few laps on these.
Just to let you know, Jason on ultra softs is about to start a flying lap.
Okay, we'll just see what RDB's second sector is, and then we shall jump on to Jason and see what Jason's doing. RDB sector 1 was a 22.0, about a second off, and a sector 2 should be coming up anytime soon. It's a 36.8. That looks a little bit off the pace at the moment. So Jason is on one, and oh, he's just hit the wall at Casino, and that is his lap done with. He does have a car coming up behind him, so he moves out of the way. So let's find another World Championship reserve driver who is setting a lap time at the moment. I've just seen RDB cross the line.
Steve,
yep.
There's 2 cars that have retired from the session due to terminal damage, which are Tina Hunt and W Butler 89.
Ooh, I mean, I did notice that they'd retired, but I was assuming that they'd done their lap time and then thought, I'll rest. But yeah.
Well, I think we spoke to Codemasters quite some time ago about the notifications on the screen need to be more... They need to be clearer. It shouldn't say somebody has retired from the session if they've ended up upside down in a barrier with no wheels on the car. It should say has DNF'd or has terminal damage, because then everybody knows. And the thing is, at Monaco, I mean, we expect it. It's going to happen around this track. So yeah, we'll see who else is going to have that. I mean, in the race, it's going to be even more of a possibility as well.
That is true. We're on with RDB again. A very similar sector 1. Sector 2 previously was a 36.8, so that's what he'd be looking to beat, and he's got a 36.5, so he's up on his current time. But he's just slapped the wall and lost some of his wing, and that is going to cost him big time. Oh wow! I mean, that was a heavy impact. I'm surprised the wheel is still stuck to the car.
Okay, I'll let you know which WCR drivers are on hot laps at the moment. Coming to get you appears to be, unless he's on an in lap, Dave the Harp is. Jason still is, I think, or might now be on an in lap. Braken Clays is on an out lap, and so is Kane Panda. I think he may have just started his... No, he's just retired from the session. That may also be a terminal DNF as well.
Okay, we're watching Jason at the moment. Heads down towards the chicane. Was that a turn 1 terminal damage from Kane?
No, that's the third one. He's lost it at the swimming pool section. The right-hander.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. But if you... Oh, yeah, well, I think we've just caught a glimpse of his car in the barrier there, as Jason's trying to set a better lap time. And he's coming round Anthony Nose, or as I like to call it, Anthony's Nose. Easier to remember that way. And sets a lap time of 1:15.6, puts him in 5th place. Not too bad from Jason at that point. Okay, let's find the next person
Comment to get you just improved from 4th to 3rd with a 14.1. Don't know what his first lap time was, but he's improved this time.
Yeah, he is currently sat in that 3rd place, and his sector times are there to see. I'm just wondering whether he's going to increase. Yeah, he's gone quicker in sector 1. He's got a 19.6. DP, how does that compare to the purples? He's got a 19.6.
Purple sector 1 is a 19.5.
So he's only a tenth away, because his 19.6 is a low 19.6, is 19.614, and he's got a car ahead of him, not too close to him, but it could compromise him later in his lap as he breaks down towards the harbour chicane, turns in nicely, not too much curve, keeps the car settled, puts the foot to the floor as he heads up towards to back, and nicely up against the wall, and it's a 34.4. That's a good sector 2. How does that compare to the purples?
34.7.
So he has got it to that 34.4 is a purple then by quite a few tenths. So this could be the pole time. Can he keep his foot down out the last corner? He had a bit of a squirm, and it's going to be a 112. No, it's a 113.3. His last sector though was a 19.2, which is still a good sector from him there. 19.294. So if he was looking to improve anywhere on his lap, he would probably be thinking sector 1, because that was where he didn't get a purple.
No. Sector 1 is comparable. Sector 3 he lost 2.5 tenths. So it was in that final sector. And something that you two were talking about before we came live was about how the tyres can turn into jelly in that final sector. It's possible that he worked them a little too much in sector 2, suffered in sector 3. Tebs is on a flying lap, breaking place, I believe, is on a flying lap as well. Go on.
Ferrari just come past the pit exit as RDB was exiting, and he had to take evasive action. It so nearly was a rear end smash at high speed, but both drivers live another day.
Yeah, wow. I saw that one. They even needed me to change my underwear. So I can imagine for the Ferrari driver that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I'm just going to focus on Tebs a little bit because we've not seen him. His sector 1's not great, 22.6. He is currently sat in 6th place. I'm just wondering whether this could be possibly, and then lap, yes, he's bailed out of it, he's off onto the marbles. Most likely be letting a driver come through. But I am watching Braken Clays, who was the Ferrari driver that went down the start-finish straight as RDB was coming out of the pits, and he has set a sector 1 of a 20.3, but I think his time's frozen. Yeah, he's invalidated his time at the chicane at the harbour, so that's unfortunate for him. But he is on the super soft, so he may be able to get another lap on them. Jason leaves the pits for another run. We've got Drew out on a lap, who's about to cross the line. Doesn't improve on his time as he turns into turn 1, and that car's still jumping around a little bit, and the Merc behind him is going to want to be getting past soon. RDB then coming around Anthony's nose and heading up towards the start finish line, start a flying lap. And what was RDB's previous sector 1? It was a 22.0, so that's what he's going to be aiming to beat. He's currently sat in 13th place. Now he's on the super soft tyres, and Stocky's left the session. I'm just wondering if Stocky's having just his normal, not got my Ethernet connected, I've done my qualifying, and I'll leave the guys to finish off now, because he's a World Championship driver.
I think he literally just crossed the line, put in a pole time of a 13.365, and then he's either had a disconnection, a game crash, or realised, okay, that's the time for everyone to beat, and now decided to get out of the way, because he does tend to have connectivity issues on non-World Championship race days.
Yeah, RDB has improved on his sector 1, so sector 2. DP, what was RDB's previous sector 2 time?
I'll have a look in 1 second. I just want to have a look at Jason, who's just started a flying lap, and there was a McLaren facing the wrong way on the exit of the final corner. RDB's, let's see, his best lap time. I've only got the sector times from his best lap, which was a 22.4, a 36.4 and a 21.0. So time in sector 1, 2 and 3 to 5.
Okay, so he has improved sector 1, but he's lost a bit in sector 2. This could, though, be a good sector 3 from him and put him up from 13th as it goes across the line. 1 position in it for him. He's gone to 12th place. Dom, seeing anything interesting out there at the moment?
Well, that car you saw spinning at the last corner was Hammer Time 95. And other from that, I've seen Drew spin, I think, in the final sector. And other than that, there's not really much going on. So
yeah, bit of a quiet point.
I've got a song for Hammer Time then. Get ready to join in, folks. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, like a barrier, baby. Okay. dodgy singing, but we've got to have a laugh, haven't we?
have.
Jason, he's still on his flying lap. I don't think he's improving on his sector. So actually, he
He
has
is.
improved sector 1. Sector 2, he has improved that a lot as well, half a second.
Stays
and he's put himself
7th.
7th.
He was 7th, he stayed 7th. He improved his time though, but didn't improve his position. But that's...
He's just started another flying lap.
Let's find him. Yep, there he is. So his sector time is 19.6, sector 1. That's where he's got a bit of time to beat. Maybe to find... Well, I think he has, because I think he probably could go another couple of tenths quicker there. But let's find out. Sector 1... There we go, it's nearly 3 tenths quicker, 19.3. Now that is a good sector 1. You're not going to see many more quicker than that. And I believe that to be the purple. But yeah, he's gone deep at the hairpin, and there's not much room if you go deep there. And it's very difficult to find that time back because, yeah, it's a very slow line around the outside there, isn't it? So
he just outbraked himself in the hairpin, and that was the lap over. I do believe he's on the pad as well, and I know that the pad users struggle in the hairpin because they can't get the car turned in.
Yeah, that is something that I have heard reports of as well. It was a purple sector 1 for him. Stocky has managed to get back into the session, so he will be able to start the race, but I think for coming to get you, that's his lap over. My question to you guys though is, what do you think's going through Simo's mind right now, because he's starting at the back of the grid?
Going through his mind right now,
I think it's I can beat those lap times. That's what I think's going through his mind.
I think he's probably thinking exactly the same. He's probably sat there watching and you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not watching just coming to get you. He's watching the World Championship drivers. And he's wanting to know what, if he gets into the World Championship, what has he got to beat? And that's what I can imagine Simo doing that, focusing more on the drivers in the World Championship rather than the World Championship reserves. Yeah, it does look like he's very focused, and it's going to be a tough decision when somebody gets that option to select either. Well, I say either. There could be more than just those two. But if you need a teammate, do you go for coming to get you as we get booted out off the track? Do you go for coming to get you, or do you go for Simo, or have you got another choice? I mean, Dom, if it was down to you, if you lost your teammate for whatever reason, what would you do? Well, which way would you go at this moment in time between the drivers?
What I would do is what I'd do what Nuke is doing in the World Series. Nuke obviously lost his teammate, and he's now testing drivers to work together with him in the team. And I think if I lose James for whatever reason now, I'd test either one of them out and probably another driver, and then pick from them.
Yeah, I mean,
whoever suits me best as a driver, but also as a friend.
Yeah, I mean, that is very important how you get on with a friend. I mean, I'm in a position as well where I'm currently looking for a teammate as well in the World Series. I've got a couple in mind, shall I say. But for me, it's more important that you can actually speak to the person, get on with them, and practice with them. And I've actually been quite fortunate. I've found someone that is awake at the same time of night as me, shall we say.
The thing is, a part of that as well is, and it's a very simple but very important part of it is, if you've got a teammate that's not letting you know when they're pitting, how do you know?
Well,
and that is, it's a small thing, but it's something that could ruin the opportunity of a 1-2 finish, or a podium finish, or a points result. That's one of the minor things that is part of working as a team. I mean, you say to your teammate, I mean, usually the team sort of might say, right, you're the car ahead, you pit whenever you want, I'll do it around you. But if there's a bit of a gap, it can't always be that easy to know. So just having that little bit of communication from each driver that says, I'm not going to pit this lap if you want to go ahead, or I'm pitting now, it all works towards the process of the team. And if there isn't that communication, it can make it very, very difficult. And that's one of the reasons why in FRR, in hybrids, Nuke, and in your situation, Steve, where the drivers have basically been told, right, okay, here's a list of guys that you can consider as teammates. You can pick one now, or if you want, you can take them as a reserve drive for a couple of races and see how you get on. And then they get that opportunity of seeing how they work with someone, seeing how that driver conducts themselves, also getting them up to speed on the FRR rules, because obviously the reserve racers don't have the full rules applied to them, but the Championship and the World Series do. So yeah, it's all part of a learning process and a working together process. At the same time, though, there's the difficulty for the driver that's still in the team is, do I pick a guy that's possibly faster than me?
Yeah, I mean, you want to score good points for the team, which we'll come to in a moment. I feel the qualifying results are going to come up. There they are. Dom, if you want to read through those for us.
So Stocky takes pole position in the Mercedes with a 1:13.1, followed by Comer to get you the first WCR driver with a 1:13.3. Hammer Time 95 in third with a 13.4, with F1 Roadrunner following closely behind on a 14.3. Tebs 007 on a 14.9 in fifth, with Braking Clays behind him with a 15.0. Jason starting from the fourth row with a 15.2, and W Butler starting from the eighth position with a 15.7. Then further on we've got Kane Ayamna in 9th with a 16.5, David Harp in 10th with a 17.1, then we've got Teenhan with an 18.8 starting in 11th, RDB 18.9 starting in 12th, and 13th is Drew 8.7.1.105 with a 19.0, and James has gone 30.3. That's very promising for James that in the for the World Championship race.
We've also got Mr. Hamilton 44, who's going to be starting behind the broadcast team, and Simo, who's going to be starting behind the broadcast team. And for anyone that's wondering why the broadcast has shown Formula Racing GP jumping out of the lobby, it's because it's what he needs to do to be able to catch the start of the race. So as we go to the circuit getting ready for the Formula Racing World Championship Reserves round 6 at Monaco, something that myself and Dom will be able to have a look at on the formation lap is if any of the drivers outside of the top 10 decide to start the race on differing compounds, whether they're going to go ultra soft or whether they're going to go for the super soft or even the soft tyre and try and go really long. I mean, we've seen you do it in World Championship races, Don, where you start outside the top 10 and you go for that harder compound tyre, which is obviously the part of the hope is that when everybody pits earlier than you can be ahead of most of them. Do you think that's something the guys will do here in Monaco?
I think they're less tempting to do that here. Obviously, with track position being this important around this track, I think people won't do that as quickly as they would normally.
Okay, Steve, we'll let you know in a moment. The formation lap is nearly underway. As soon as the car gets going, I shall let you know. Okay, it is now underway. So I'm going to have a look at the race director here at the top 10 and lower. Got Tinahan Super Softs, RDB Super Softs, Drew and Jamie James have both gone Ultra Softs, and I can't see yet what Mr. Hamilton 44 and Simo are on. So Steve, you may want to have a quick look at them when you get back in. I mean, this is a track where I must admit, if I was outside the top 10, I probably would go for the harder compound tyre because there's going to be crashes and people are potentially going to be held up ahead of you. So if you're on the slower compound of tyre, then there's that opportunity of not being held up as much. I mean, because this isn't a circuit where really you go for the ultra soft tyre and start overtaking people left, right and centre.
Okay, now you say that, but we've got Simo started in 19th place on ultra soft tyres. Then we've got Mr. Hamilton in 18th place starting on super soft tyres. So they've gone for different strategies there. Interesting, very interesting. So let's get.
See what they do. They will have to be careful though, obviously at the start, because GP's car should be ghosted. Overdykink's car and my car, they unfortunately won't be ghosted. So they are going to have to negotiate myself and Overdykink. But here at Monaco, them taking their time, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Because I think, I mean, I'd probably put a couple of sausages on the fact that there's going to be some kind of collision at turn 1.
Yeah, and my opinion of turn 1 is if you have to cut the corner to take evasive action to avoid an incident, sometimes you just have to do it.
What are we going to do there? Are we going to move aside or are we going to stand still on the grid?
Slowly forward.
Slowly forward, staying still, and that's what the drivers have been told is what the broadcast cars will do, so that is what they
need to
expect.
Okay, so we are on board with Stocky. We're looking up at the lights. It's coming to get you alongside him. Those lights are coming on. All 5 are on, but when will they go off? They are off, and the tyre smoke starts pouring out from the rear rubber tyres. And coming to get you is trying to go around the outside of turn 1, but he's not going to be able to make it. And we've got car 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all through turn 1. Okay, I think
There's a Williams off.
There's a Williams off, but majority,
that might be Seymour, you know.
It might well be, but there's a majority of the cars were through there reasonably clean. We're just watching Jamie James. Oh, car flying in the air! He's upside down. Sorry, there's a Toro Rosso sliding on its roof down towards Maribor. DP, if you watch the replay, you might be able to just explain that a little bit more.
I'm just having a look now. I'm just waiting for it to happen. And you're right, he is upside down. I'm not sure if it was a Toro Rosso. Difficult to tell, but he definitely was upside down.
Yeah, interesting collision, that one. That's the sort of one that you'd want to watch again and again and from different angles and try and figure out what happened. But it's not down to the, it's not a necessity for the World Championship Reserves to record their event. So they don't necessarily have to. And I tell you, I just thought it was a bit close. RDB, he's got cars. He's in 12th place. He's got cars right up behind him, but he's up behind cars ahead of him. And he's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment, and we've got a car heading for the pit lane.
We may have a problem here, guys, just to let you know, Steve, because on my view, your car, even though we tested this, your car appears to be parked on the apex of turn 1. So, Steve, if you want to take control of your car and retire it from the session and get it out of the way for us, please.
Okay, let's have a... I can't. It won't let me choose my name.
You need to...
No, my name's not on the list.
Right, go make sure you're riding on board camera view.
Just to let you know, guys, Steve is not on my screen, so...
Okay, it might not be on the driver's view then. It's not showing as a ghosted car, so we'll see how the guys get on with that. We did test what would happen with the cars here at Monaco, and they did retire properly. We also do have contingency plans in place for removing the main broadcaster's car. So anyway, on to the action on the track. At the moment, we've got
Stocky... for you guys. Seymour's pitted for damage, and as well as Jamie James, so...
Yep, I can tell you why... I can tell you why Seymour pitted for damage. He drove straight into the back of me at the start. So even though on every broadcast we do mention that the drivers have to go around the broadcast cars, we're not going to be darting all over the place to get out of the way. He did sort of just drive straight into the back of me. I think even if I'd have tried moving to the side of the road, it probably would have still happened. But it is down to the drivers on the track to be aware of who the commentary team are, who the broadcasters are. It's posted on the posts on Facebook, and in that situation of being right at the back of the grid, being sensible and getting around those cars.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the moment of what cars up at the front are on what tyres, and I've noticed that Stocky's on the Ultras, and you've got coming to get you in the Ferrari on Ultras, but the Hammer Time 95 is on the Super Softs, just as quick as the cars ahead of him. He is in a... I know he's not a World Championship Reserve driver, but he's put his car in a very good situation here on those Super Soft tyres, just showing what you can do with them at the start of a race. But I mean, where did Hammer Time 95 qualify? I mean... Did he qualify on the Super Softs?
He was
he must have
third, I believe.
Yeah, okay. He's doing very well. Be interesting to watch how well he gets on for the World Championship next week. Yeah, very interesting.
I'll tell you what, sorry to interrupt. We've got Dave the Harp. He's under a lot of pressure from Mr. Hamilton 44. Kane Pando's just ahead. He's actually going for the pits. He's got a bit of damage on his front wing, but Dave the Harp, he's coming under a lot of pressure, both of them with DRS now because Kane has moved out of the way, but these guys on the Super Soft tyre.
Yeah, and it is Mr. Hamilton 44 who is right up the rear of Dave the Harp, and it's not an easy circuit to overtake on, and he's looking at every opportunity possibly. Can't even trying to go around the outside at Casino, but he's not going to make that work. Now, is he going to go for the inside at Maribor? Looks like he's going for it. Dave the Harp's going to give him room. I think there was no point in Dave trying to fight that one. That was going to happen all day long. But Dave the Harp now just needs to get his lasso out and hook it up to the back of Mr. Hamilton's car.
Okay, info for you. Obviously, the leading WCR driver at the moment is coming to get you in second place. The next is Tebbs, who is in fifth place on the ultra soft tyre, and he's got Jason right behind him, also on the ultra soft tyre. Those two having what looks like a little bit of a tense battle between them. A bit of a gap then down to David Harper and Tinahan. I'll go and have a look and see how they're getting on. But yeah. Tebbs and Jason could be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we're just watching those at the moment. Dom, if you want to talk us through a little bit about Tebbs and Jason just behind him.
I'm going to inform you first though, Will Butler pitting for a set of ultra softs from the super softs. Then onto Tebbs. Let's have a look here.
It looks like he may be pulling away slightly from Jason, but yeah, if you just want to say a few things for us.
Well, Jason performing really well here again. He's just showing that he's able to perform on very difficult tracks where you just need to keep it out of the wall basically, and he's done that so far. But obviously that's not cursed him. Since he's only 5 laps in, he's performing very well though so far, and I think Tebbs is struggling quite a bit on this tyre. From what I can see, he's oversteering quite a lot, whereas Jason is able to keep the car quite nicely on the road.
It does look like at this moment in time that Jason might just have a bit more speed.
Sorry, another battle for you, RDB. Oh, he's just had a moment, he's lost it and collision with Jamie James just on the corner on the entry to the tunnel. I think RDB got a little bit wide, clipped the barrier maybe, got a bit sideways. Jamie James was next to him. It's also collected Drew in that as well. So unfortunately for Drew, he was just following them, and I don't think there was anywhere he could go, as RDB's got front wing damage. I think Drew's got front wing damage. I think Jamie James has also got front wing damage. Yeah, he's got no front wing whatsoever on that car.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dave. Tebbs, as you moved away from the battle of Jason and Tebbs, of the gas king, I am retired from the session. Tebbs has crashed as well. Tebbs lost the car on the corner after the harbour. I'm not sure what it's called, the left-hander, and he's crashed. So that's free Jason in 5th place.
Yeah, Kane.
Tabac, I think that is.
Yeah, Kane just went a bit too hot into Tabac. I caught it on the broadcast. And yeah, he slammed up against the wall quite square on. Sort of accident that's going to damage your drive shafts through the rear, maybe even your gearbox. There's no driving your car after that one, unfortunately for Kane there. So let's have another look then. That's taken the pressure off the drivers that were around Kane at that point in time. But yeah, we're watching Tinahan at the moment, who's a World Championship driver. We'll move away. Tebbs has retired from the session. What's happened to Tebbs? That is going to be an unfortunate one for Tebbs now.
Well, he recently was in the pits. He did hit the barrier. He had some damage. Yeah, I think it may have been a collision there. I'm not sure. We'll see on the race direction in a little while. Just have to try and
he lost it by himself, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was on board with Jason when it happened. So.
Yeah, he did have that moment in Tabac. I saw the replay of that. I think he also, unless it was Tinahan that was into the pits. Oh, I'll tell you what, I was just watching Stocky and I could have sworn he just rammed it straight into a wall. Stocky does have quite a bit of lag at the moment, unfortunately for him. Coming to get you though, he is coming under ever pressure from Hammer Time 9.5. Let's see, what tyres is Hammer Time on?
Super soft.
Well, I mean, for Hammer Time, this is good at the moment. I mean, the gap between himself and Stocky is what he'll be looking at. Is only 3.2 seconds on completely different compounded tyres. So this could work for Hammer Time.
Yeah, you're about 3 laps too late to that party there, DP.
Well,
car,
there's another
wall.
party going on.
Steve, you might want to get on board with Jason and Mr. Hamilton. They're having a fierce battle for P5. Mr. Hamilton all over the back of Jason. Jason really being put under pressure, and now it's time for Jason to prove that he can cope with this pressure as he has done previously in races.
Yeah,
he's positioning his car defensively quite nicely, but Mr. Hamilton carrying a bit more speed through the corner. Perhaps not expecting Jason to brake where he did. I mean, if Mr. Hamilton plays it wisely, he should be able to get past into turn 1 if he's got the straight line speed. He's having a look, and no, he hasn't. But he may have, if he's got a good exit here, which he has. Yeah, this is it. Oh, he's just caught the back of Jason. He's trying to switch up to the left, now the right, and now he's realised he can't do it.
It's a sort of place you can get away with a little bit of weaving up there when you're defending, because it's not straight. But I'm not saying that Jason was weaving, but he was definitely not making his car narrow. It was wide. Oh, collision over the two of them. And I don't know how much of that was just braking a bit too late or a bit of tangle of tyres. But he has managed to squeeze by. But looks like Mr. Hamilton didn't want to wait around too long. And Jason defended it as much as possible. I think that was a bit of a unfortunate coming together there between the two drivers, to be honest.
It's also a difference in, carrying speed to the corner. Jason might be taking it a bit more carefully than Mr. Hamilton 44. Obviously, Matt's known for pushing the car to its limits, and that just showed it there.
Simo has just sorry, DP, I need to say this. Simo has just overtaken, I think it was Dave the Harp, round the outside through the tunnel. And I was like...
I've just seen the replay. Lovely move, that. Obviously, there's differences of speeds between the two drivers, and Simo is on the soft compound tyre. So, yeah, lovely move. I was going to mention as well, RDB, he's now into the pits. He's just had to do 3/4 of a lap with a puncture.
Oh, yeah. So, lap 8, and he's got a puncture. That must have been from a bit of contact with the wall. Now he's retired. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Dropping like flies. And, we're only on lap 9. Okay, so let's refocus then.
Tell you what, Steve, coming to get you really caught to the back of Stocky, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering now whether Stocky's tyres are starting to go off a little bit.
Do you know what I think it is, Steve? I think Stocky's hit the wall somewhere. It's got a bit of front wing damage, and that's why he's struggling for pace at the moment.
That might be the case. That might well be the case. And it does look like coming to get you has got a bit more pace than Stocky, but it's not easy to get past, as we've already seen. But this is allowing Hammer Time just to be able to stay with them, and I suppose that's all Hammer Time needs to do, is stay with them, and when they pit, that's when he can push on and try and create a bit of a gap.
I've just been looking at Stocky's front wing, and I can't see any damage on it. I'm having a good close look at it. He may have hit the barrier somewhere, which has just put him off a little bit, but I'm not seeing damage on it.
Hammer Time looks like he's going to go for an overtake on Coming to Get You, pulls back out from the overtake, doesn't go for it that time, but yeah, Coming to Get You's just caught a little bit of wall. I don't think it caused any damage, but it slowed him down on the exit of Casino, and Hammer Time was looking straight away at trying to make a move. And what's going to happen as they come through the tunnel, because he's right up his gearbox, this could be a move down into the chicane, but I think Coming to Get You's got a bit more speed through the tunnel than Hammer Time 95. I think Hammer Time 95's got the speed through the slower corners, and Coming to Get You, unlike him, he looks like he's got the straight line speed. Normally we see him with the more aeros, but we've just seen Jamie James setting the fastest lap of the race currently with a 15.5. What tyres is Jamie James currently on, Dom?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Ultra Softs.
Ultra Softs, okay, so...
and they're new, because he...
Super Softs.
Okay, well, whichever tyres he is on, they are new, because he will have had to have pitted for a brand new front wing and a change of tyres. But it'll be interesting to see what lap times he's putting in now in comparison to, say, for example, Simo, who's still on the soft compound tyre, and in comparison to Stocky up at the front.
Okay, so we've done 10 laps.
As well. Sorry, Steve, yep. I'm interrupting on this one. Jamie James all over the back of Breaking Clays as well. So he's just hit the fastest lap of the race, and we might see an overtake very soon on the WCR driver.
Okay, so let's see how Breaking Clays does defending. He's not got him quite. He's not quite close enough just yet, but he's there or thereabouts, and he's definitely going to be in Breaking Clays' mind to what's going to happen with the driver from the World Championship right up behind him. It shouldn't unsettle him too much. He's done a couple of reserve drives in the World Championship. I think he may have done one in the World Series as well. And
So I think Stocky's tyres are going off. I was just having a look at the lap times, right? Jamie James, his fastest lap was a 15.5. Simo, he's in the mid-16s at the moment. He'll be going much longer in the race anyway. Stocky, though, his first or the second lap of the race was a 15.6.
Oh, Breaking Clays is out of the race. There was a collision through Casino. It looked like he went a bit defensive, and the car behind him committed for the overtake. There might have been another car involved as well, but it just looked like a bit of a collision, and he lost his wing.
I'll tell you what it was. The Toro Rosso ahead went deep into the top of the hill, ended up in the barrier on the right-hand side, was out of position for the second part of the corner, which the Ferrari driver then sort of ended up making contact with, and into the barrier he goes. Massively unfortunate for him there. But that's the corner that's seen many drivers, or the top of the hill, seen many many drivers into the barrier on the right. But yeah, Stocky, his lap times, his last 3 have been in the 17s, so his tyres are either going or he's looking after them now.
Well, he has pitted.
No, he's actually pitted. He's pitted. My apologies.
Yeah. And just noticed that Coming to Get You is now in the lead, and he is starting to pull a bit of a gap from Hammer Time 95. Now, what it would be interesting, Dave, is for us to know what lap times Coming to Get You. I suppose it was the 17s that he was doing behind Stocky. I suppose 17.0s behind Stocky. What can he do now in fresh air? Because if he can start pulling a gap here,
I think he's going to be pitting. To be honest.
No, he's not.
He's going to ball with Simo 911 over the back over Williams Drive. I think that's Jason.
It is Jason, and Simo's still on the tyres he started the race with. Jason went defensive, but then has to take a bit of a cut at the corner to make the corner, and it's compromised his exit. Jason's there, up behind him, and these soft tyres are looking strong at this point in the race. If you're going to make an overtake round here, though, Don, where would you do it?
In the water.
Well, if you want to do an overtake, I'd say the pits. I'd say the pits is about the only real opportunity that you've got. So, apart from obviously turn 1 or the end of the tunnel, if you've got good straight line speed. But other than that, I mean, it all depends on whether the car in front makes a mistake.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a few cars make mistakes already. It looks like Simo was about to touch wall there, but he gets away with it. And Jason going defensive again, but it will compromise him towards the hairpin. Simo looks like he's going up for a move up the inside. Can he get enough lock on that car? And he has. He's just made a lovely overtake past Jason. Jason was out of shape on the previous corner, and Simo took advantage of that. And it's not very often you see a clean overtake at the hairpin. Well, we've just seen one. That was a great overtake from Simo.
I'm surprised he was able to pull it off, to be honest, in that hairpin.
I need to put in a second. Sorry, I need to put in a second guy. Stocky. He may be about to make a move on F1 Roadrunner. He may also not be about to make a move on him, because when Stocky came out of the pits, there was a few seconds between himself and Roadrunner. He's caught up to the back of him. He's now stuck, and the gap between himself and Coming to Get You has stayed at 15.8, 15.7 seconds. So Stocky's now losing time behind Roadrunner, and I think that might be why Coming to Get You also hasn't made a pit stop yet. Also, Stocky's going for the move. There's contact between himself and Roadrunner, and he's managed to get through, but maybe potentially slightly over aggressively. But yeah, he was losing time there. So Coming to Get You may be coming into the pits soon. Hammer Time though, I'm not sure. I mean, looking at how long these tyres will last, Ultra Softs, yeah, I think now or the next lap. Super Softs could be going anywhere another 10 laps.
Yeah, they could be, but you've got to take into consideration, just see Mr. Hamilton fastest lap of a 14.3, you've got to take into consideration what tyres will he go on to next. I mean, yeah, they could do another 10 laps, but then from that point, he's still got a lot of laps to do. So he'd be better off not going for 10 laps, probably just going for 5 and then putting the softs on to maximise his strategy. I'll tell you what,
RDB is out of this race.
He was out of the race earlier, I think, and he just left the session.
Alright. That'd be that case then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at this point in the race, Coming to Get You now is losing lap time on his current tyres, and DP will probably be able to confirm that. What was Coming to Get You's last lap time? Was it in the 18s? Because I think it may have been.
Oh, Drew's lost the car.
Ooh, so what happened to Drew?
James was very lucky to escape that. He managed to ghost through Drew's car. It's happened in the corner after the harbour again, the left-hander.
Yeah, Tobac. It's called Tobac because there used to be a tobacconist shop on the corner that's not there anymore, a little kiosk. But it's not there. There is Drew's car in the middle of the road, the Renault. And yeah, he is stranded without a wheel, I think it was. But yeah, Coming to Get You, DP. What was his previous lap time?
17.1, but he's now got traffic. He's got a Toro Rosso ahead of him. He manages to get past, and Hammer Time follows him so closely. That was actually a nice bit of driving by Hammer Time there. If he hadn't have done that, he'd have been held up massively. Thankfully, the Toro Rosso driver managed to just stay out of the way. Couldn't see who that was. I'll try and find out. But yeah, coming to get his lap times, actually looking fairly good at the moment. 17.1, okay, it's not super quick, but it's consistent with what he's done previously. However, the gap now, with Stocky having clean air, 13.1 seconds it's down to. Stocky's going to retake this lead comfortably.
Yeah, Stocky is going to be doing about 1.5, maybe even 2 seconds a lap quicker on those fresh tyres. But what does it mean for strategy for Stocky pitting on the lap he did, going onto the soft tyres? Dom, do you think he'll be able to take those soft tyres to the end of the race?
From this point on to the end?
Right.
I think it's difficult, but you can do that, I think. I think should be able to. If he looks after them well, doesn't have a lot of oversteer moments, they should be able to do it.
Okay, Steve, have a look at Jason. He's just come out of the pits on a set of super soft tyres with, I think, Jamie James right behind him and Mr. Hamilton 44 right behind him as well. So Jason decided, yeah, these tyres, Hamilton and James side by side.
Outside of James.
That's a sneaky move. He may have to defend the inside line, and he is doing, as Jamie James now trying to have a look around the outside, but they come together a little bit, and that gives Jason a little bit of a breather. I tell you what, he would not have wanted to really come out that close to them. This is going to get interesting towards the end of the session, because no offence to Jason, but Mr. Hamilton 44 and Jamie James are slightly faster drivers. Just going to have a quick recap of what the current situation is. Coming to get you. Coming to get you is under pressure from Hammer Time. Hammer Time now thinking he's the faster driver on these tyres. He's all over the back of him trying to make a move. So if you want to have a quick look at that, because it's going to be happening soon, either that it's going to end up in a crash. So coming to get you is the leading driver in this race at the moment. Maybe not for long, but he is also the leading World Championship Reserves driver in this event. Is Hammer Time going to have a look for the overtake into the chicane? No, he's not. So coming to get you, leading the race then, top WCR driver. Simo, he's in 4th place. He's the 2nd WCR driver, with Jason slightly further back being the 3rd WCR driver.
Yeah, Hammer Time looks very comfortable at the moment on these tyres, and he must be shouting as loud as he can, "Get in the bloody pits, would you?" And it looks like he's obliged. Because that...
That's coming to get his last 2 laps were in the 19s.
And I'm surprised he was able to get those tyres to that lap, to be honest. That is very surprising, to do 17 complete laps plus what he did on qualifying on them as well. So I mean, that's got to be at least a minimum of 2 laps worth of tyre wear. Obviously you're in and out are not on full race speed, so yeah, I mean that's basically the equivalent of near enough 20 laps worth of tyre wear on those. Wow.
I'll tell you what, Steve, Jason is doing fantastic defensive work here, keeping Mr. Hamilton behind him for I think about 2 laps now. You can see Mr. Hamilton's trying to get past, but Jason's just defending fantastically, to be honest.
Yeah, he's able to put his car in the right places for himself, the wrong places for Mr. Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton's got his DRS open, but he doesn't have the straight line speed. DRS just not giving him enough as they head towards turn 1. And Jason is driving a great race at the moment. Mr. Hamilton will be raging in his crash helmet at the moment, just thinking, why are you blocking me? Why? Yeah, it's one of those situations where Jason thinks, why not? I might as well have a bit of fun and not let you past. That's what racing's about. It's about overtaking, it's about defending, it's about keeping it clean, and it looks like Jason's doing a good job of it at the moment. While we're watching this DP, could you give us a read through of the order? Oh, hang on, wait a moment. Mr. Hamilton is going for that move through the tunnel up the inside. On the exit, they are clean at the moment, making no contact hopefully, but they've both gone deep into the hairpin. Mr. Hamilton's had to take a big cut. It's not a hairpin, it's a chicane, but I think, when you take that corner like Mr. Hamilton has done, it might give you an in-game penalty. That'll be an interesting one to see.
Well, the only thing I would say there is, I mean, he's backed off, he's let the guy back ahead of him. I mean, it's difficult to say who was side by side, but yeah, I think it was funny that they both went deep, but there we go.
Yeah, they were both, it was like double deep into there then. Brain going dead. Yeah, DP, if you can run through the order of drivers currently.
I will do in 1 second. Hammer time 9.5. He is leading the race still on his super soft tyres. He's actually going into the pits now, so he's decided that that's enough. He'll have 19 laps left. Will he go for ultra softs? I don't know. Leading the race he is at the moment though. Coming to get you is showing as being his second place. Stocky. Has Stocky made another pit stop? Yes, he has, because he's now on the super soft tyre. So coming to get you is ahead of Stocky. So Stocky's in third, and F1 Roadrunner's in fourth. Simo is in fifth. Jason sixth. From Hamilton 44 seventh. Jamie James eighth. And that's it for the runners at the moment. Quite a few out of this. Well, actually, no, Dave the Harp is in ninth place.
Yeah, Mr. Hamilton still can't get past Jason. Jason must be running with the 2017 tyres because his car's very wide. But he's doing an unbelievable job, Jason, is to be able to keep a driver like Mr. Hamilton behind you for this amount of laps. It just goes to show what track position means around Monaco.
Sorry, just want to update you as well. My apologies, the names thing isn't working quite right on my screen. Dave the Harp is in 9th place. Tinahan still running in 10th place. W. Butler still running in 11th place as well.
Okay, thank you very much, DP. So just to confirm what we mentioned a moment ago, Stocky made another pit stop for the super softs. I'm wondering whether he got a bit of damage and decided to get rid of the damage because those softs that he was on should have been taking him to the end, I think.
Steve, there's a car behind Mr. Hamilton and Jason. That's as the lap car, Tinahan, but he's being held up by these two. And there's a car in front who's about to be lapped, so this could make for an interesting manoeuvre here by Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm just looking at those other cars that are in front and behind there.
Dave the Harp ahead of them.
Yeah. So what lap times is Mr. Hamilton doing at the moment? Because he must be about 2 seconds off the pace what he would be wanting to do, because he's stuck behind.
He's going for it. Oh, nearly he went for it. That could have ended in disaster. Dave Hart getting out of the way. I think he may have just tagged the back of Mr. Hamilton 44, not cost him too much time. I think, no, Mr. Hamilton 44, he's got to do what he tried doing earlier on. Try and get Jason out of position into turn one so he can attack into the top of the hill.
Yeah, he's on the better, I'll say better compound. He's on the softer of the two compounds that the drivers are on. He's on the ultra softs, and Jason is on the softs. So he should have the better mechanical grip, but he just can't make it pay at the moment. Jason is doing such a good job of what he's, defensive lines. And even though it is compromising him, is he going for an overtake? No, he's backed out. Jason's covered the inside into the hairpin, compromises his exit. Can Mr. Hamilton get a switchback? I don't think it's a place you're going to be trying to overtake there into the tunnel, but he's very close up the back of him now. And is he going to go for another overtake down towards the Harbour chicane? Will they break deep this time?
I'll tell you what though, this is Monaco in a nutshell for you.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it just goes to show. I mean, I remember watching one of the races that most people discuss, and it's the Mansell. Oh, Jason very quickly through there. Then it looked like he was about to hit a wall. Mansell versus Senna, and I can't remember what year it was, but was it? And yeah, Mansell was setting lap record after lap record after lap record after lap record. And he was on fresh tyres. Senna took his tyres so long and going so slow. But Mansell just couldn't get past. Even though he had fresh tyres and it was so much quicker, just no way could he get past. And Senna ended up winning.
Okay, I may have to shout at you soon, not just yet. Hammer Time 9.5 in second place, ultra soft tyres, is catching up to coming to get you on soft tyres, so he's leading the race. When it gets down to about a second or second and a half, I will shout at you.
Yeah, Mr. Hamilton, for the last probably 10 laps, you'd be thinking he'd be making it overtake at any particular corner he would pick, but he just can't make it happen. Jason is just positioning his car in such a good position for every corner. I mean, I just can't. I mean, this is Monaco. It does make the racing so much different compared to any other circuit. But I love the way Jason is driving here. This is what I would love to see him doing at every race circuit. But I suppose it's the nature of Monaco.
The thing is, it can happen with any driver as well. I mean, you take the World Championship race last season here in Monaco. I mean, I was fortunate that I managed to qualify pole, and I had my teammate sort of next to me, straight behind me. No, I didn't. Sorry, Temp Fear was in second place, and Kev, although he felt he had the faster lap times.
Jason's messed up. It's turn 1, and Mr. Hamilton's passed finally.
Yeah, now we'll see the pace of Mr. Hamilton, see what he can pull away from Jason. So yeah, DP, that move's been done. Finish off.
Yeah, I was just looking at the replay of that. I tell you what, he kind of did what I was saying he needed to do. Try and put a bit of pressure on Jason to have him out of position in turn 1 to attack up the hill, which he's managed to do. Okay, the gap between Hammer Time and Coming to Get You, it's down under a second and a half. So you might want to keep an eye on that one. Yeah, Temp Fear, last season's World Championship champion, he was ahead of Kev 187 and was able to hold up Kev 187, even though Kev was screaming at me, going, I can go faster, he needs to get out of the way. This has got close.
Up as turn 1. Sorry to interrupt, Dave. Coming to get you messed up as turn 1. Mr. Sorry, Hammer Time all over the back of him now. He nearly went to the wall. Turn 1 coming to get you.
I think Hammer Time's going to go for it now. He's going to have a look, surely. No, you think Tinahan, unfortunately, out of the race.
That sounded like an incident on that one.
I'll check the race director in a moment, because this is going to get feisty up at the front. A little bit of contact between them. It's going to get interesting. I think Hammer Time may get a little bit impatient here.
I'll tell you what, Coming to Get You on those super soft tyres with Hammer Time on the ultra softs, you'd have to put your money on the ultra softs of Hammer Time at the moment, but we've seen what happened with Jason and Mr. Hamilton, and this could just be the same again all over. And you know, it comes down to the driver defensive skills and how composed they are in the car.
Just to let you know as well, Simo started at the back of the grid. He's now running the super soft tyre, and he's all over the back of F1 Roadrunner, battling for 4th place. So I've got a feeling there's going to maybe, well, it's always the same around Monaco. I think a move may happen soon, and then you sat there for 20 laps. But it could happen. It could happen. I tell you what, it could happen right now. Simo is really, really, really close. Is F1 Roadrunner going to cover him off? He does do. He defends him into turn 1. It's going to compromise them both on the exit of the corner, and Simo nearly loses the rear end. That compromised himself a little bit more. Can't attack at the moment now.
He's so close though, isn't he? And are these driving? Yep, they're both on the same compounded tyre. I'm not sure what laps each driver pits on. Simo's going for a look at the inside, can't make it work, and he just needs to try and get him out of shape somewhere. And F1 Roadrunner, it looks like he's making himself a little bit difficult to get past as well. I mean, I suppose, is it the driver making it difficult to get past, or is it just the circuit that makes it difficult to get past? Dom?
I think a combination of the two, to be honest, isn't it? So, well, you saw what Jason could do.
Yeah.
But then again, Mr. Hamilton was past Jamie James, I think, within half a lap. So, it's driver depending, but also track depending, obviously.
Yeah, and I think with Monaco, I think they called it Monica. I mean, with Monaco,
who's she then, Steve? Who's she?
I don't know who Monica is. I've been watching Friends too much. That's what it is.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway, yeah, with Monaco, I think it just separates the boys from the girls a little bit. Now I've said that, I'll probably write my car off.
And Jason being the man? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm saying that the guys that get to the end, that cross the finish line, they're the real men. They're the racing drivers that have earned respect from me. If you've stuck it in a wall when you're not under pressure and you're just driving round, yeah, that's a silly schoolboy incident. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It separates the good drivers from the bad. I'm not saying that everyone who writes the car off is a bad driver. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that everyone that's crashed out is a bad driver. But it can separate the good from the bad.
It is a real test, isn't it? I mean, it's. I mean, some people may take offence of what you've said, but what you've said is kind of, oh, Hammer Time, he's got a fantastic run. He's got a fantastic run, but coming to get you as quick in a straight line, He may be able to have a run up the hill. No, he's had to brake too much. He's compromised himself. I'll tell you what, Hammer Time would benefit from just braking that little bit earlier to get a better exit. But I think he can see him there and he wants the position. Yeah, well, I was saying, I mean, some people may take what you said as being offensive, but it's Monaco. It is one of those that, I mean, there's people that love it and there's people that hate it, and not everybody that loves it is quick around here, and not everyone that hates it is slow around here. But it is one of those circuits that people do say it does separate the men from the boys, because it can tend to do that. I mean, I'll tell you something, Dom. I mean, this is going to be your first race next week around here on the wheel. And something that we've said to a lot of new wheel users is wait till you do a full race at Monaco, because afterwards, Hammer Time, he just clipped both barriers. Yeah. After this race, you will be saying to the missus, "Don't touch my arms. Do not touch my arms. I can't move." Hammer Time's locked up and messed it up again. He's into the pits. It could be damaged.
Damage from that, yeah. I was going to say.
Yeah.
That is a surprising pit stop. I don't think that was strategy. That must have been for damage. Just looking where Stocky is. Stocky's just going past the start-finish line now, so that promotes Stocky up to second place. And I'm just wondering whether Hammer Time, when he puts another set of ultra softs on, whether he'll have enough laps to do something.
It's Roadrunner and Simo that have just gone past Hammer Time.
No, Mr.
glitched backwards. On my screen.
Mr. Hamilton 44 rear puncher as he enters the pits. So Mr. Hamilton having a puncher issue after he just struggled to get past Jason as well, and he's going to end up doing that extra pit stop. That is what you call unfortunate.
Did you say a moment ago that someone looked like someone lagged back into someone?
No, what I meant to say was that Hammer Time came out of the pits and then was in the pits again on my screen. But that's probably because of that wing damage, and they replaced the wing. So on my screen, it probably appeared as if he didn't have to replace the wing. So.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, the pit glitch that we see occasionally. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
We've got a Toro Rosso. I think
no,
that may.
Red Bull from W Butler.
Yeah. Okay.
W Butler's retired from the session, unfortunately.
Okay, right. Up at the front then, just to recap, coming to get you, having a stormer at the moment. Stocky's in second place. F1 Roadrunner is in third place, but he's got Simo in fourth place. That's the closest battle up near the front at the moment. Hammer Time is then a few seconds behind them, back on another set of ultra soft tyres. And then Jason is in sixth place with Jamie James still behind him. This is, I mean, we've said it a few times, it's the story of Monaco. You can catch a car up so quick, but it doesn't mean you're just going to be able to storm past them, even if you're on the faster compound of tyres. Let's see, Mr. Hamilton 44, he's had to pit for his puncture, and there's a big gap between himself and the cars around him. So yeah, F1 Roadrunner and Simo, the closest battle up at the front.
Jamie James is making that move on Jason. Looks like it's got it done up towards Casino. Up, is it Beau Rivage or... Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And then it's Massenet. So he's got that move done. Nice clean overtake from Jamie James there. Sorry, DP, to cut in.
No, so I was just going to say that the battle between Jason and Jamie James, Simo and Roadrunner are the two closest battles on track at the moment.
I'm just wondering whether we got any comments on YouTube that's worth mentioning, whether anyone else has had a guess at the question of the day, or whether any controversial comments.
Question of the day may be something that will be worth having a look at in a moment, but Simo, he looked like he was close enough to attack, but I think he's just clipped the barrier on the exit of the final corner. He's compromised again, which is unfortunate for him. There has been a few comments. Hammer Time, he mentioned earlier on that he did clip the wall in qualifying. Let's see, Drew, Dean Tiley was saying, I think Hammer Time, no, guy that had puncture earlier on in the race did 5 laps on his qualifying tyres and he got a puncture. Simo trying to attack around the hairpin, can't quite do it there. You'll have to shout at me if he does go for it. And then Drew saying that he tried to let Jamie James through, but he hit the wall, saying you can barely fit one car on this track, which is very, very true. Someone is asking what the question of the day is again. So, Steve, you may want to, if Simo's not going to go for the attack just yet, mention the question of the day. But, I mean, this will be annoying Simo a lot, won't it, being stuck this close behind F1 Roadrunner?
Well, this is why he wouldn't have wanted to start at the back of the grid, and he would have wanted to get that quali lap in. But I think he's doing rather well for saying he did start at the back. Well, I'm going to read the question of the day out, but if they do go for an overtake, then you can butt in on me. But I'm just going to wait to see what he does with the DRS open, whether he can actually make the move here or not. Has he got speed? He doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed to make it into turn 1. So maybe a good exit up the hill. Oh, his rear end's twitching. I will give the question of the day a readout then. How much did it cost Ferrari to earn... how much did it cost Ferrari per point in the 2015-16 season in euros? So, to sum that up, how much did it cost them per point? How much? Flipping it, can't get my words out.
You get it out. Would you like me to take over for you, Steve, seeing as you seem to have got a frog in your mouth that's doing dances?
It's Murray's come back, he's haunting me.
Basically, guys, the question of the day is really, really simple. Ferrari, the Formula 1 team, how much did it cost them per point in euros for the F1 2015-16 season, the season that has just gone? So basically, how much did each point cost them in euros? Fire your guesses in now on the YouTube comments, and we'll answer that question later on in the show at the end of the race. We'll also give the podium drivers the opportunity, or Simo getting really close. We'll give the podium drivers the opportunity to answer. This is Simo's opportunity, because F1 Roadrunner was out of shape going into the final corner. This is it. Simo trying to go around the outside. Roadrunner trying to close the door on him. Side by side into turn 1 they go, and Simo just ahead. May have just chopped Roadrunner off a little bit there, but may have been a touch of frustration from being stuck. I mean, he was stuck so much that David Harper, who I think is a couple of laps down, was actually catching up to the back of him. So, Simo, what can you do now with 7 laps left to go?
I tell you what, the view that the broadcast had of that overtake was brilliant, and I think it'd be a bit harsh to say on Simo that he cut him up or chopped him up. For me, that would look like an amazing overtake. But we only get to see it the once. We get to say what we see, and yeah, it all depends on what angle you're looking at sometimes. But to me, that was one of those overtakes that you don't see very often, and you've got to get it right, and it looked like he did that for me. Just on the question of the day, I think F1 Roadrunner may have had a problem, because Hammer Time 95 has also got ahead of him. He's on the ultra soft tyre, and he's now not far behind Simo, who is on quite old super soft tyres now. So we may have a battle between Hammer Time 95 and Simo. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, just give out some of the answers to the question. Oh, spinner! Hammer Time! No, it's F1 Roadrunner. He's spun it at Anthony Noakes. He's doing a 10-point turn to try and sort it out, and he doesn't like this. He's sat in reverse. Can he get the car sorted out before someone else comes around the corner? There's a car coming around the corner.
That's Jamie James. Jamie James passed.
That's rather unfortunate, that is.
And Mr. Hamilton.
And a bit of a dodgy camera angle there for us. I do apologise. But yeah, F1 Roadrunner, fresh tyres, but he's just lost a lot of time.
Jason's coming at him now as well. Jason's on the start-finish straight, so F1 Roadrunner's going to have to settle himself down quite quickly, because Jason is coming for him. And I tell you what, David Harp's actually, if he's in the correct position there, he's not that far behind Jason on ultra soft tyres. So still plenty to... No, he is a lap down, my apologies. I think it looked like he was in a really strong position then.
And he might be more than one lap.
No, it's alright, it's just at the top of the screen, obviously you have 33 laps to 39, and on Dave's I just noticed that he is on 31. So he's a couple of laps down.
Yeah.
It's just on the track, he's right behind Jason.
He is right behind Jason, but he's 3 minutes 26 behind the leader, whereas Jason is 48 seconds behind the leader, so Jason is still running on the lead lap. That is a good showing so far from Jason. I don't want to curse him anymore. Let's have a look what Coming to Get You is doing up at the front.
Oh, Stocky! Sorry, Stocky just hit the barrier, and I was about to tell you that Coming to Get You, if you think that this race is now a comfortable win for him, it isn't, because Stocky has been catching him quite quickly. He's just gained a second on him in the last lap. But Stocky's just hit the barrier. If he's got damage or not, I don't know.
well, that would have compromised him on this lap. That's for definite. But also,
Simo and Hammer Time's all over the back of him.
He is, but I'm just wondering at this point in time, with Coming to Get You, is he just driving at tyre management speeds, and he may have something else in the bag if he needs it, because it is just track position at the moment for him. So yeah, he may just be looking at lap times at the moment. So, Dom, any drivers that have stood out for you today from the World Championship reserve drivers?
Well, if you have to pick a driver of the day so far, I'd say either obviously Coming to Get You, fending off all the pressure from the cars behind and in front to now be leading with about 5 laps to go, or Simo, who's come all the way from the back of the grid to now driving P3 or P2 from the WCR drivers. So it's quite impressive from both of them.
Yeah, and it would have been nice.
Ready to flick your camera, maybe Mr. Hamilton 44, Jamie James, very, very close together, not quite able to make the move. Again, Mr. Hamilton 44 struggling for straight line speed, but that is a battle that is going on at the moment between
James
two.
hit the wall.
Yeah, that might be why they're getting quite close, because Mr. Hamilton 44 is applying a lot of pressure. I'll let you keep an eye on that, and I'll go and see how. I'll let you know.
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. He's offered him limited room.
Oh, they're both going to be in the wall.
Mr. Hamilton's lost it.
So I tell you what, that was
damaged Jamie James' car as well.
Yeah, one of those incidents that can quite easily happen around here with it being such a narrow track. Do you think these drivers would drive like this in the World Championship League race when points are at stake, or do you think they'd be maybe a little bit more cautious? If it was you, Dom, what would your thoughts be on that?
I think they'll be a bit more cautious to an extent. I mean, if you are Mr. Hamilton and you are stuck behind Jason for probably about 15 laps, drivers are tempted to go for a move somewhere. But obviously, with the drivers really definitely wanted to finish, they're going to be a bit more cautious. And for the World Championship drivers, this is a good way of practicing some of the overtakes they might want to do in the World Championship race as well. So.
Yeah. Well, just noticing now that Simo is coming under a lot of pressure from Hammer Time. Mr. Hamilton's retired. Yeah, now that is surprising. Well, now we don't know whether he's had enough and he's called it a day, or whether he's put it in the wall, but we'll find that information out shortly.
I'll have a look at that for you.
Yeah. So Simo coming under pressure then from a driver that is on reasonably new tyres. I know we're near the end of the race, but it wasn't long ago when he pitted. Hammer Time 95. And can Simo keep his tyres going to the end and keep ahead? So that'll be something to look out for.
Okay, it doesn't look like it was a terminal damage DNF. Excuse me, from Mr. Hamilton 44. He had just been given a stop-go penalty. I was about to mention about Coming to Get You and Stocky. Stocky got the gap down to 2 seconds, but as Dom's just said, Coming to Get You just hit the barrier. So yeah, battle on for the lead, and I think Coming to Get You's tyres, they're going to be not too healthy right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out. He pitted on end of lap 17, so he's done 20 laps on them, and he needs to do 2 more. I mean, compared to the amount of laps that he did on the Ultrasofts, they should manage it. But the problem is, he's got Stocky behind him on tyres that have probably only done 10 laps, if that. So they're in much better condition. In this situation, Dom, which car would you prefer to be? The car that's got the track position on weaker tyre rubber, or the car behind that's got the better tyres?
With it being Monaco, I'd still say the car in front. Track position is the most important thing around Monaco. So at this point, I'd still give Coming to Get You more of a chance than Stocky, especially knowing that Coming to Get You straight line speed is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of time now, I think, before Stocky makes an attempt at overtake. He's getting closer and closer after every corner. There are another couple of battles out on circuit. If either one of you could have a look at Simo.
I'm watching Simo. I'm watching that. I'll let you know if anything comes of it.
Yeah. So, this could be it. This could be the time for the overtake. Stocky's looking, but it's covered the. Coming to Get You covers the inside quite nicely there. Stocky not even considering it into the hairpin. Oh, Stocky's walloped the wall. Now, was it a wallop of the wall or was it a wallop of lag?
Well, with Stocky, you're never sure.
No. I mean, what you wouldn't want to happen is a moment like that affects another person's race, because that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So coming to get you then, just wants to try and cling on a little bit more. Stocky looks like he's got the pace, but has he got the patience to wait for the right opportunity? I mean, at the end of the day...
Stocky's got a lot of lag.
Yeah. Stocky only needs to get past on the last corner of the last lap. He doesn't need to get past right now. And I think the longer he leaves it, the more chance, the easier it's going to be, because the more tyre wear coming to get you is going to have. And they are, yeah, they are going to cross the line to start the last lap of the race. But I tell you what, whatever happens here, I'm pleased to see what I've seen so far from coming to get you from this race. DP,
just to update you, Hammer time 9.5. The gap has opened up between himself and Simo right now, so they're now into the last lap. If Hammer time's going to have a go, he's going to have to close up about half a second and then throw a bomb somewhere, because other than that I don't think it's going to happen. Okay,
unless he gets his Mario Kart upgrades, and then he can drop some banana skins down.
We'll have to remember as well, when we're doing the podium interviews, because it is going to be the top 3 World Championship reserve drivers that get onto the podium interview. So that'll be coming to get you Simo, and we'll have to have a look at who else that'll be. But it could be interesting to ask Simo which was the more interesting race. The one where he was driving around Monaco all on his own, or the one where he had to go from the back of the grid to the podium.
Yeah. Because he's
got 1 second to go, Steve. He's got 1 second to go.
Is Stocky going to make a last-ditch attempt? He is. He's gone for it. And we'll just let the visuals do the talking. Stocky's got the move done. Last corner of the last lap. There you go. And that's when I said I would do it, because you've got the best opportunity. So Stocky crosses the line in first. But he's a World Championship driver, so we don't care. We're bothered about coming to get you. He's our World Championship reserve driver. The next one along the road is Simo. I believe he may have already crossed the line because it won't let me select him.
Yes, yep.
So the next driver would be Yarson, who's just coming through the tunnel heading down towards the chicane. He has F1 Roadrunner ahead of him, F1 Roadrunner being a World Championship driver, so we are looking mainly at the World Championship reserve drivers. What is a World Championship reserve driver, DP?
I don't know. No, World Championship reserves. In Florida racing, we've got the World Championship, no assist. With the World Series, the assists. World Championship raced on alternate Wednesdays. World Series raced on alternate Thursdays. And on the other week, we have the reserve races, and that's where drivers can come along, take part either in the no assist events or the assist allowed events, show what they're capable of doing, and then if any of the World Championship drivers or the World Series drivers can't make an event, they can call upon any of the World Championship reserve drivers for the WC or any of the World Series reserve drivers for the WS, where it becomes increasingly more difficult to get to an end of a race and score some points. However, if you're the likes of Simo coming to get you in the World Championship reserves, you show what you can do, and you get picked quite often to be a reserve driver. Because I've got to say, I think both of those have done fantastic today. I also had a quick look at the replay on YouTube of the move. Coming to get you did have a little bit of a sideways moment, and Stocky pounced. It may have been a little bit of a dive bomb. I'm not going to say it was, but it may have been.
Sod it, we'll call it a dive bomb.
Up the inside. But fair play to Coming to get you. He was able to just about react. He may have expected it, but a fantastic race. But I think this event has just shown once again that Monaco, it's one of those tracks where anything can happen. Getting to the end is key, and it doesn't matter really how quick you are. If you catch somebody up, you could be stuck there for quite some time.
Yeah, and Jason again has gone to show why he is one of my favourites when it comes to Monaco. He is the third placed World Championship reserve driver, and whenever he's in a race at Monaco, I tend to put my money on him being on the podium, and every time I've said that, and I've said that he's good around this circuit, it doesn't seem to be a commentator's curse. It just seems to go out there and do it. And if you need a reserve driver, he seems to bring the points home. May not be the best points, but I tell you what, it's a good solid driver if somebody is wanting a reserve drive. So there's plenty of guys out there available for the World Championship guys to pick from. So, DP, I guess you're inviting the top three in, which is Coming to Get You, Simo and Jason Jason. I can't.
Their invites. I've just noticed as well. Simo had messaged me an hour ago saying could have waited for me. So I'm just now responding with we did for about 10 minutes. So anyway, yeah, okay, they'll be on their way hopefully in a moment's time. There have been a couple of guesses at the question of the day.
Okay, we'll get to those in a moment. I'm just going to say that it's surprising how long that name has stuck with Jason. The Jason. I mean that.
Well, you saying it was Jason.
Yeah, but that's what you used to say. Yeah, that all started from you, DP, when he first joined.
Not knowing which way he wanted to pronounce it. He did eventually say, Jason's fine, although I don't think that's actually what his name is. But there we go, the joys of PlayStation and weird names. But there we go. I mean, I'm fairly sure that Hammer Time's name isn't Hammer or Time. But there we go. Okay, I believe all three of them are in, though, and Stocky may be begging for an invite into the podium chat. One thing I will say about Stocky, though, is, and this might be something that Coming Together you can comment on, Stocky did do a couple of pit stops in that race. Could that be strategy for tomorrow? Was it for damage? It'd be interesting to get Coming Together your view on that. But Steve, I'll hand over to you and Dom for the podium interview.
Yep, before I ask the podium interviews, I'm just going to say that if there's anybody that's got any questions for the guys on the podium, just put at FRR and then the question, or at and then the driver's name, or whatever you want to put so it stands out a little bit clearer for DP to see, and we'll get around to answering those questions with the guys on the podium. Also, if there's any drivers that crashed out the race or didn't get to the end and you wish to comment in the chat, YouTube chat, about what happened in your race, then DP can also read those out in a moment as well. But let's get to the podium celebrations. And on the top step we have got Coming to Get You, who's there again. Well done. Not quite as simple as it could have been for you, a bit hairy towards the end there, but how was it from your point of view, that race?
Way above expectations. I was just expecting top 5, if I was honest. Didn't expect to be fighting for the lead.
When you realised Simo wasn't able to put a qualifying lap in, how happy were you?
I wasn't actually happy. I want to fight the man.
To be fair, we were all looking forward to a straightforward battle between the two of you. But I tell you what was interesting. We saw how both of you deal in different situations. With him trying to come through from the back, and with yourself trying to defend from the front. Attack and defend from the front. But it would have been nice to see both of you attacking at the same time, which I'm pretty sure we will see at some point in the coming races. But qualifying time, happy with your qualifying time, or do you feel you had a bit more time to find there?
Gutted. Lost it in the middle sector. Is my mic alright, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Lost it in the middle sector. I mean, I went purple in the first sector. I was well chuffed at 19.2, and then hit the wall down in the hairpin, and blew it.
Yeah, and what could have been, and I think if you'd actually got that lap in, that might have just allowed you to run away at the start a little bit. But Stocky did seem to hold you up. How frustrating was it following Stocky for that amount of laps before he pitted?
It was actually funny. Number 1 rule, keep the car at the wall, and I see his car nothing but at the wall plenty of times.
Yeah, and we saw a bit of lag from Stocky. Was it affecting you much in the race?
At the start, yes. That's why I backed off, because I had Hammer behind me. I didn't want to cause a free car collision with the lag.
Yeah. Now, if one of the World Championship drivers do ask you to be a reserve for the World Championship race at Monaco next week, would you say yes, or would you be like, oh, it's Monaco, don't make me do it again?
I don't like Monaco. I'm not a fan of it. It's my worst track on the calendar. But hey, I'm here to fill in their seats for anyone that needs points.
So if anybody needs a reserve driver, you're basically saying that you would be available, which is good to hear. In the commentary box this evening with us, we do have Overdykink from the World Championship. So Dom, any questions for Coming to Get You?
Yes, I do. Were you struggling at on the super softs at the start of the race? Obviously, with the cars around you being. Oh no, hold on. You were on. No, you were on the ultras. Sorry. Then the question is this. Sorry.
Start again.
Okay, I'll start again. Take 2. Were you struggling to keep Hammer Time behind you, who was on super softs, with you being on the ultra softs, and had that worry you for the rest of the race?
No, it was a case of look after the super softs. I pushed on a few laps and could see I could pull out the gap, but it was wait to see what Stocky did and keep some tyre wear life there to push when I needed.
It looked like you managed to do that quite well there as well. A follow-up question, Dom, or is that it?
Yeah, what about that move into Raskas in the last corner? What are your thoughts on that?
It was fair, 50-50 naughty, but no one ended up in the wall. Fair play for Stocky, caught me unaware, but I was just trying to keep the car on track. At the end.
It was very entertaining. I'll tell you what, that's what a lot of our viewers want to see, is good battling, good overtaking, good defending, and we kind of saw all of that from you today. So well done in finishing on top step of the podium. We may come back to you in a moment for any questions off YouTube. In fact, actually, I'll ask DP at this point whether DP's got any questions for you or from YouTube.
Yeah, there's a question from Hammer Time. May have already touched on it, saying touched on the question, not Hammer Time, saying, coming to get you, why were you so slow on super sifts? I think he means softs. Did you have damage? I think he may also mean, well, it could have been either way, the ultra softs or the super softs. I mean, obviously he did catch you up in that second stint while you were on the super softs. He would have he maybe feels that you were not as quick as you could have been, but then he was on the faster tyre. So what was that situation like for you regarding your tyres and with him behind you?
I had a little bit of damage to the left side. I touched the wall. It wasn't enough to affect me too much, really. But Hammer Time just put the pressure on. The trick is around Monaco, park the car on the apex and make him wait to pick up the throttle and make sure you pick it up first. That's all I was doing.
There you go. That one. Move on to the next guy then, I believe.
Okay, thank you very much coming to get you. Stay with us because we want to ask you the question of the day in a moment. So second place on the podium is Simo911. I want to ask him about his name in a moment, but Simo, no qualifying from you, but you had to start from the back of the race. But the main question I want to ask you is, how did you get on in the first race we had today?
What do you mean?
Okay, in the first lobby where we went and did qualifying and everybody left, you seemed to be the only one that didn't leave.
Yeah, I was just concentrating on my laps.
Yeah, well, we sat waiting for you and it was like, it still says it's multiplayer at Monaco and we've got everybody else in our lobby, well, you're still in the other one. So yeah, we did wait for you.
I think there was people, because I see the pits and there was white dots. I'm not used to restarts though.
Yeah, when somebody disconnects and they were still in the pits, sometimes their car still stays white. Don't know why that is, but yeah, I think it's basically showing that they can get back in their car or something. I don't know, but
during qualifying, it would be a good time to point out this so Simo knows and everybody else knows. With the FRR League events or even the reserve events, you've got a broadcast team. For example, in this situation, it's myself, Overdykink, and Front Row Racing GP, and the broadcast team, all their names are posted on the post that goes up at 6 PM on race day. That way it lets all of you drivers know who's going to be the broadcast team, so who you need to avoid if you're starting at the back of the race, and who's going to be retiring from the session. The other reason for that is as well, if you see all three of those people leave the session, that basically tells every driver this session is done, it's over. There's no other quick way that we can say, right guys, it's over, because if you're on track you don't know, but that notification of your broadcast team, so in this situation Front Row Racing DP, Overdykink and Front Row Racing GP have left the session altogether, that's your sign that says this session is over, get ready for another invite. But there you go, just a bit of info for you on that one.
Useful for everyone there, I think. But yeah, Simo, start of the race, you had some damage. What happened there?
I didn't have any. I hit someone very hard in the start, but I didn't have any damage at that point.
You pitted at the end of the first lap, did you not?
Yeah, that was a
Was that
strategy.
tactical then? Oh. Clean track
Interesting.
then.
I was actually trying to get the softs to the end, but then I was a bit dull and wanted to race some good laps, so and get some information about the super softs.
And we all let's get my words right.
Even I didn't understand that one, Steve. Do you want to try again? Take 45.
Yeah, we'll start again. Okay. So did you learn what you needed to learn with the soft tyres? Did you realise that they weren't going to get you to the end, or do you feel that maybe driving them in a slightly different style, different manner, may be able to get them to the end? Would it have helped or hindered?
I think it's easily to the end, even if pitted in the first lap.
And with that though, do you think it would still be competitive, or do you think you'd have to drive? Because they're not a fast tyre, really, are they? They are quite a lot off the pace.
They are getting so slow, but I think it's possible to get without a puncture.
Yeah, sometimes when you start at the back of the grid, you've got nothing to lose as well. But I'll tell you what, we saw some great overtakes. Where there was one where you went round the outside of Dave the Harp through the tunnel, and great overtake that one. It's not where you normally see somebody going round the outside, but it was a great overtake. And then there was another one as well on F1 Roadrunner at turn 1 quite late on. Got a brilliant camera angle of it on the broadcast. DP at the time said you may have just cut him up a little bit, and I was like, no, actually I think that was pretty good, but difficult to see from different angles. But how was that overtake from you on Roadrunner at turn 1?
Yeah, it was almost impossible to overtake, but I think he lost the car in the last corner, so I got the situation that I could pass him.
Yep, you might as well get on with it when you can. Overdykink, any questions from you for Simo?
Well, I was going to ask him questions, but you've pretty much all asked them, so that's not left me with much, Steve. I have to admit.
You can always ask him the backup question.
Which is the question of the day, then?
No, the colour of his underwear.
No. Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be a razor stock question, hasn't it?
Yeah. If you don't know what to ask, you ask him what the colour is. We will skip that for today. Okay, so DP, anything for Simo from yourself or from YouTube?
No, nothing from YouTube, unfortunately. I think we've pretty much covered everything with Simo. Good drive from the back of the grid there, definitely.
Yeah, and with the amount of times that Simo's putting himself on the podium recently, I'm going to know his full life story soon. All right. Well done, Simo. Stay with us for a moment because we will ask you the question of the day. So well done on a second place there with the World Championship drivers, World Championship Reserve, so I should say. I can't bloody speak. Has he gone past 10 o'clock yet? No. All right. Jason, third place on the podium. Have you got your mic with you? Is it set up and working? Can we hear some English from you?
I think so. Yeah.
It's a little quiet. If you're able to turn your microphone up a little bit or maybe move it towards your mouth a bit more, I'm not sure which, but I heard you.
Don't put it in your mouth. That's not very good.
You know what to do at this point as well, Steve. You didn't let Dom ask any questions, so you dropped this one on Dom.
That's what I was about to do.
That's fantastic stuff.
So, Jason, let's try your mic again. How are you?
1 2 1 2.
Still a bit quiet. I can hear you. If other people just have to turn their volume up, I think, at this point. So, yeah. Overdykink, ask some questions to Jason.
Jason, you had a fantastic race, and we saw you defending from Mr. Hamilton for about 15 laps. How did that feel? How did that make you sweat as well?
Yeah, it was real pressure. But I did a mistake at the first corner, and then I think it was off the first corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was very unfortunate. That. Go on.
But I think he has faster tyres in the Ultrasoft.
Yeah, I think he had faster tyres as well. But anyway, that's great racing, and surely that must make you feel quite comfortable for the race next week. knowing that you can defend this well. If you can maybe qualify far at the front, you might be able you might be able to get a good result.
Yeah, I hope so. And I don't think one stop was the right thing. Maybe try a two stop. We'll see.
All right then, Steve, have you got any questions for Jason Jansen?
I have only one question for him. I'll keep it quite simple for you. Do you have any message for Eraser?
Because there is a bit of a little love affair. You might not know about it, Jason, but there is a little bit of a love affair, we think, with Eraser and yourself. He was wearing yellow and blue underwear, was Eraser, I think, in the last World Series race.
He seems to love you a lot, so I just wondered if you had a reply to him.
Yeah. We got teammates for a few seasons ago. Get on the Sisu race.
Okay. I would have just gone with I love you, but there we go. Okay. Right, Steve, if you want to give the World Championship Reserve podium drivers here the opportunity to answer question of the day, that unless you want me to ask it this time.
I'll tell you what.
I'll have another go at that, guys, by the way. So let's just do that after the podium sitters. No, I want to have another go.
I'll tell you what. We'll give Dom the opportunity to try and read, to try and say or explain what the question of the day was.
So I don't mean to laugh, but it's just halfway through the race he was like, well, hang on, they earned this much money, so it's like, oh god.
Go on then, Dom, what was question of the day?
Right, the question of the day is, how much have Scuderia Ferrari spent in the 2015 season per point? So, well, yeah, that's the question. I can't say anything more than that, I think. Steve, can I?
No, it's probably just
the
better.
2015-2016 season, the one that's just gone.
In euros.
Yeah.
So how much did it cost them? How much did it cost them per point? So yeah, coming to get you. Any idea of a rough guess?
1.5 million.
I shall make a note of that one. 1.5 million. Simo, any idea how much?
Maybe 2 million.
2 million. Jason?
10 million.
10 was that?
10 million, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. All right, Dom, did you want to have another guess, did you say?
I want to have another guess. I don't know, guys. Do you remember Dan Evans' answer?
I've got it written down. I do remember it.
It was £976,635. I want to put in that same answer, but I'll make the pounds into euros. So I'll make 976,635 euros.
Okay, so the answer...
That's my final answer.
That's cheating.
Okay.
That's like copying off someone that's cheated.
YouTube answers.
Both.
YouTube. The thing is, what happens if you copy someone's answer and they cheated and got it wrong? Okay, YouTube answers are. Let's see. Drew says 1,000. Let's see. Ivor.
That's gonna be a Lego car. That.
Ivor says 527, and then he said, joke, 251 million.
Okay.
That might be a bit high.
Which is probably even bigger deal.
Yeah. I mean, that might be how much they spent in a season. If that's per point, I think they're in the wrong business. Let's see. And then Drew responded again with over 9,000. So they're your main guesses. So go on there, Steve. Put us all out of our misery.
Well, they spent throughout the whole season, it's an estimated 418 million euros. They scored 428 points. So you divide the euros by the points and you come up with the answer of 976,635 euros, which Danev said in pounds, but then Dom converted it into euros. So Dom gets the correct answer. But anyone that's around about the £1 million mark is pretty much bang on there. But I'm just going to give you some interesting facts. I mean, that's just under £1 million per point from Ferrari, whereas Mercedes, they managed to spend 467 million. But per point, it works out to 664,000 euros. But I was looking for some of the interesting facts on here, and it's like McLaren, they scored 27 points. So each point cost them 17 million. 17 million per point.
Oh my God.
And you are driving that car, just to let you know, Steve.
I know. Yeah. But also, what's surprising though is Sauber only. I say only. They spent the least amount of 103 million.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's
That is
a bargain.
nothing. It's pocket change, isn't it? 103 million, which works out at 2.9 million per point. So it's not necessarily how much you spend, is how much points you're going to receive. It doesn't always work out that way. So yeah, interesting. So there we are. That was the question of the day. Thank you very much to our podium drivers of Coming to Get You, Simo911 and Jason, Jason. Great race there from all three of them, and I'm not surprised that Jason was back on the podium again at Monaco either. Very good race there from him. DP, do you want to just wrap this up now with a quick what's happening next and everything else?
Yep, no problem. Also, just a quick well done to all of the rest of the World Championship Reserve drivers and even the World Championship drivers there in that event. If anyone is wondering why Steve was referring to these guys as the podium sitters, it is because they were the top 3 World Championship Reserve drivers in the event. Next up on the Formula Racing YouTube channel will be tomorrow night at about 7:25 PM. We'll go live for the World Series Reserves. That's the assists allowed. That'll be for round 6. Here in Monaco again. Now I know we've had a few new applicants into that one, so we'll see perhaps a few new faces on the grid, and what an event to make your debut at, one that might not last very long or could show just how good some of those drivers are. So join us tomorrow for that 7:25 PM. At the end of that show tomorrow we'll advertise what is following on the Formula Racing YouTube channel. So that's pretty much it for now, other than to say that if you are interested in getting involved in F1 2016 on PlayStation 4, you're more than welcome to come and find Front Row Racing on Facebook. I will put a link to the Facebook page in the description. Send us a message and we'll give you the information required for you to set up your driver profile and work out whether you'll be racing in the World Championship Reserves or the World Series Reserves. Also though, if you are interested in Project Cars, we do have Project Cars leagues that are still running at the moment. A couple of rounds to go on those. They're racing on Sunday evenings. 7:30 PM race starts and 8 PM race starts, so if you have got Project Cars and you want to get involved in that as well, again, message us on Facebook. And there is also a couple of videos, or a video that went out a couple of days ago on Sunday with a little bit of a champions chat and a little bit of a teaser about the next season on Project Cars. So feel free to have a look at those, like and subscribe, join us for all of the action, and we'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you very much to all of the drivers, to Formula Racing GP, Overdykink for doing the commentary there whenever Steve and I shut up. I'm the Formula Racing DP. This has been the Formula Racing World Championship Reserves. Actually, I've just remembered as well, while I do remember, apologies, we are now into December, so just a reminder as well that the Christmas provisional schedule was posted up to Facebook a few days ago, so I do just want to touch on that. I'll try and touch on those over the next couple of broadcasts as well, so just bear with me a moment. I'll get the image so I can give the correct information on that. Obviously Christmas is a time where some of us want to spend it with family and some of us just want to get absolutely plastered, so some racing will not take place around that time. Okay, so in December, let's see, we've got the World Championship and World Series round 6, which will happen on the 14th and 15th of December. 21st and 22nd of December will be the World Championship Reserves and World Series Reserves round 7s. We'll then have a break. The next event will be the World Championship and the World Series round 7 on the 4th and 5th of January. So there won't be any races between Christmas and New Year, any league events anyway. So the last event before Christmas will be the World Series Reserves on the 22nd of December. As I said though, that has been posted to Facebook, and anyone that wants that can get that information from there. But other than that, yep, that's all there is to say, other than thank you very much, thanks for watching, and see you all again soon.
Thank you very much, goodbye.
Goodbye.